Hey, so am I audible? Sorry for the late. Am I audible? Hi. PDF is there in Telegram group as well as Siddhi app. In Siddhi app, if you can download tests and resources, in that you have PDF. Right? We will start the class in 1 minute. Just 1 minute. We will start the class. Sorry for the late. Notes radam koncham late aindi. So yeah. How many of you gave exam already? How many of you gave exam already? The biophysics notes to levu anni verega chadu. No, I will do it here. I will do it. Okay. See, I have one piece of advice for everyone who's a part of this session. Just a second. Just give me 1 second, please. Okay. So I have one piece of advice for everyone who is going to write this exam, who is writing CGL, and who is a part of this entire cycle. I just have one serious suggestion that I want to give you. Right after that, I will start the class. The suggestion that I want to give you might invoke some kind of controversy, some kind of reaction from you guys, but still there is something on my mind that I want to talk to you for 1 minute. See, there are a lot of issues that are there in the examination. There are so many people who are facing the problem. For example, mouse doesn't work. There are n number of problems, and every one of us know all the problems that we are facing. But I have one suggestion for you. Please don't get disturbed by all of this. Don't start following various activist campaigns that are going on all of this. Don't start tracking everything, and please don't not immerse yourself in all this digital content that is coming on your face. My only request for you is, please be prepared for the worst. Accept that this is a situation. You are going to face all these problems, and you are the unluckiest person of all those who are writing the examination. You will have a problem. Your center will be 500 or maybe 1000 kilometers away from your house. Your center, they will not allow you on time. They will give you a pen that is not proper. They will not give you worksheets on time. Your mouse doesn't work. In the middle of the examination, your screen will get blurred. Every damn shit that is happening for n number of people who are writing this examination, everything will happen only and only to you. Please prepare yourselves mentally for this. When you are prepared for all of this, you will maintain emotional stability, and no matter what kind of shit flies around in the exam hall, please don't lose your focus. This is the only thing that I want to tell you guys before starting with today's class. Right, we are starting the class for today. Right, so please go only by this. Prepare yourselves for all kinds of problems. Agree that you will have problems, agree that this is going to happen, and prepare yourself psychologically and mentally for it. Don't feel weak. Don't feel that why is this happening to me. It is happening to everyone. It will happen to you. Yeah, it will happen to you. Right now, for 1 minute I'll talk about the maths important topics. As of now, there are no specific topics that were known, but what people are saying is that statistics, probability, mensuration, trigonometry, algebra, these are the focus areas. Right, there are no questions on data interpretation. There are less questions on arithmetic, and whatever questions are there in arithmetic, the length of the questions is very high. For example, there are around 3 to 5 sentences in a single maths question. Right, this is the overall thing that is happening with respect to exam. For example, in mensuration, they are asking questions on prisms, pyramids, frustums, cylinders, cones, or certain shapes. For example, cylinder on a cone, probably. So these kind of things are being asked in the examination. So I have one suggestion for you. There was no statistics, but they are asking statistics. I have one suggestion for you all, based on what I understood till now. Okay, based on what I understood till now, if you can go to 2017 tier 2 papers, this is the kind of question paper that was set back in those days. So if anybody can get a hands on this paper, if anybody can get a hands on this paper, please go through those papers. What I understood is that this is only based on my understanding from the input that I have received. So you can go to those sources, 2017 tier 2 or to probably 2016 tier 2. This is relatively easy. 17 tier 2 is one of the hardest tier 2 papers that was ever conducted. There you have 100 questions of mathematics. So based on what I understood, I feel that the maths paper is somewhere of that standard. So this is what is happening, and they told that with respect to reasoning, there are very lengthy questions. With respect, there are so many statements and assumption questions, etc. Even I am eagerly waiting to look at the reasoning paper. As of now, nobody is able to tell what is happening in reasoning, because obviously it is very difficult for anyone to remember the questions and come back home, right? So this is with respect to the whole story. Now let us start talking about today's class. Yeah, I was told that it was very, very tough. Yes, geography part 2. I have taken up some parts of geography today, Siddharth. You have the topics that are there for the climatology. I am going to discuss those in today's class, so it will be covered, right? So I mean, for today's class, we are picking up Ashokan edicts, Harsha, Vardana, the art schools in ancient history. First part of Mughals in medieval history, then these two topics of modern history, followed by climatology. I was not able to prepare notes on soil and soil profiles. We will do it later. Maybe in the next class, I will pick up soils. Then there are certain concepts of economy and international relations that I wanted to discuss. And in this part of physics, I was not able to make notes. I did not find enough time to make it. But my sincere suggestion is all these topics are very, very important. Please go through these topics. At the end of the class, I'll tell you the other topics that I want you guys to revise also, right? So please do that. Now let us start talking. Okay, before that, let me take one or two questions just for 1 minute, and then I'll start with the class. See, gradation paper is tough. Gradation paper is tough. Reasoning, one okay, question. Erosu shift. Yeah, I was told this. Yes. I was told of this. I mean, I don't know what is happening. Seri, please leave it. Let us leave it. Okay, ఏదైతే అది అవుతుంది, వదిలేయండి. Now let us start talking about what we are going to discuss today. So my aim today in the first part of ancient history is to talk about Ashoka and Ashokan edicts. So as a part of this, we will start looking at the Magadhan Empire. So everybody knows that Ashoka is from Maurya dynasty. Maurya dynasty came to power after throwing away which dynasty? Which dynasty came to power after? Which dynasty was there when Mauryans came to power? Let's come back to the topic here. It might apply for CGL2. Okay, it might apply for CGL2. Let's not divert based on this. Please come back. Yes, Maurya. Who is the last Nanda king? Who is the last Nanda king? Who is the last Nanda king who was thrown out? If you have seen this PDF, there are some questions that are there here. Please wait, right? Okay. Nandas, now with respect to Mauryan dynasty, please tell me the political history. Who's the first Mauryan king? Who is the first Mauryan king? Let us revise the Mauryans. Who is the first Mauryan king? Yes, CGM is the first Mauryan king. Please tell me the most important things that you remember about CGM. Please tell me what are the most important things that you know about CGM. There is one particular lake that is very clearly associated with CGM. What is the lake? Yes, Jainism. So CGM Jainism is with respect to Sallekan procedure. Yes. Guru Chanakya is very good. Yes. Yes. Sudarshan Lake. Very good. Jainism. Who is the saint with whom Chandragupta Maurya went into Jainism? Who is the saint? Sohagara inscription. Very good. Satya Venkatesh. Yes, very good. Megasthenes is the guy. Next, Seleucus Nicator. Right? He marries Seleucus Nicator's daughter. Yes. Then you have Bhadrabahu. Very good. Nice. So this is this. Next, and tell me, there is one word which is known as Antiochus. Which Indian king is referred to as Antiochus by Greeks? No, no, not Lichavi princess. That guy is very different. Vandana. Lichavi princess, different person. He is Chandragupta one of Guptas. Chandragupta Veru, he is Chandragupta Veru. Yes. Bindusar, the other name for this is Amitra Kates or Amitra Ghatas. Right? So this is the basic political backdrop of overall dynasty. Now the guy we are talking about is Ashoka. Ashoka originally was the governor. He was the governor of Ujjain, and then later on he was in Takshashila province. And yes, fig wine, right? As a part of diplomacy, he got fig wine, but Chandragupta Maurya asks for a philosopher. Philosopher was not given. Fig wine was given. Yes, very good. So Ashoka is the son of Bindusar. Yes, I made a notes on Musky inscription. So Ashoka is the son of Bindusar, and after the death of Bindusar, he comes to throne. Now there are two different discussions on this, whether he killed n number of brothers or not is subjected to debate. They will not ask you about this in the examinations, but there is one war which is important in Ashoka's life, that is Kalinga War. Kalinga War happens in 261 BC, and many of the legends say that after Kalinga War, Ashoka converted into Ashoka converted into Buddhism, and this guy is important. The Buddhist monk who converted Ashoka into Buddhism is important. The monk is Upagupta. So, in the entire topic, there are two monks that we are talking. One is Bhadrabahu. Bhadrabahu converts Chandragupta Maurya into Jainism. Next is Upagupta. Upagupta converts Ashoka into Buddhism. So, these two monks are there. Yeah, these two monks are there, and Ashoka comes up with one philosophy. The philosophy is called as Dhamma. Dhamma is the ethical code. Dhamma is not a religion. Okay, Dhamma is an ethical code. It is not a religion. And over a period of time, once Ashoka converts into Buddhism, he starts sending his envoys to Sri Lanka. What are the names of his son and daughter? My face. Okay, you want me to decrease my faces? All right. Okay. Yeah. Done. Mahendra and Sangamitra were sent to where? To which country? Sri Lanka or Ceylon, right? Yes. Now, the inscriptions or the messages of Ashoka were written in the form of, see, if you have a problem, fine. Okay, the inscriptions of Ashoka were written on edicts, right? So the messages are known as edicts. Thank you so much, Mr. Rajay Kumar Tota. Just give me a minute. I don't know how to block this guy here. Yeah, let us start talking about edicts. Edicts law, you have rock edicts, pillar edicts. Edict is nothing but an inscription. You have a rock and message is written on it. This is known as rock inscription. You have a pillar and message is written on it. You call it as a pillar inscription. Okay. There are multiple scripts. One is Prakrit. Then there is the other one is Brahmi. The other is Kharosti script. So can someone tell me where was Kharosti script? In which region of the country Kharosti script was used in Ashokan edicts? In which region of the country? Please don't write any notes. It was in Afghanistan, Pakistan region. Yes, Indus Valley Civilization region. There Kharosti script was written. In the other parts of India, yes, Afghanistan, yes, absolutely right. And Ashoka is known for Buddhist Council number 3. So can someone tell me who presided the third Buddhist Council? Can someone tell me who presided the third Buddhist Council? Third Buddhist Council was presided by Mogalaputtisa. Very good. So let us quickly revise the Buddhist councils. How many Buddhist councils are there? How many Buddhist councils are there? You're all right. How many Buddhist councils are there? 4 Buddhist councils. Very good. Third was presided by Mogaliputtisa, and this was patronized by which king? Which king patronized the third Buddhist council? Yes. Next, fourth Buddhist council is associated with which king? Fourth council is associated with which king? Name starts with K. Very good. Kanishka. And who is the chairman of this Buddhist council? Who is the chairman of the Buddhist Council? Number 4. Kushan dynasty. Very good. Kanishka of Kushan dynasty. You're right. Yes, it is held in Kashmir. Right. Vasumitra and Ashwagosha. And what about first Buddhist Council? Where and when was the first Buddhist Council held? Yes, Ajatashatru. Yes, you're right. It was Ajatashatru. Now tell me the names of all Tripitakas that you know. Tripitaka, yes, it was in Rajgir. Very good. Now tell me the names of Tripitakas. Please tell me the names of Tripitakas. Mahakasapa, yes. Abhidhamma Pitaka, Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, right? So please tell me. Let's assume this is a match the following question. Okay, what is Vinaya Pitaka related to? What is Vinaya Pitaka related to? Vinaya Pitaka is related to what? Vinayam is obedience. Obedience refers to rules. What is Sutta Pitaka? What is Sutta Pitaka? It is related to teachings. Sutta is nothing but sutra. Sutra is principles. Is teachings. And what is Abhidhamma Pitaka? What is Abhidhamma Pitaka? Yes, it is about the interpretation and the other sayings. The overall stories, interpretations and all, right. Now, Angas are the texts of which religion? I'm sorry, not Angas, I'm sorry, Agamas. For a second, nene tappu cheppana. Yeah, Jain is Agamas. Yes. So this is about, now this is one thing that you have to know. In the entire ancient history, they will always focus on the ports, because trade, development, everything happens through ports. So there are 3 ports which are there, and this can be a match the following. Tamralipti port is there in West Bengal. Tamralipta port is there in West Bengal. Bahruch port is in Gujarat. Kandahar is in Afghanistan. These 2 can be asked in your match the following. Right, there can be a match the following. Tamralipta is a very ancient port which is there in Bengal. Bahruch is a coast port in Gujarat. Now, one important thing that we have to look at here is inscriptions. In Ashokan point of view, Ashoka sent messages in the form of edicts, right? So Ashoka gave a lot of edicts, major rock edicts, pillar edicts and minor rock edicts. This map is very, very important, and every edict that is there in this map, every location is important. They will ask you questions on edict and the state. That is a minimum basic question. Especially there can be match the following questions on this. For example, Lumbini. Lumbini is in Nepal. Rampurva is known for bull. Lauria Nandangad, Lauria Arraj are in Bihar. Kaushambi, Meerut, Delhi, Shabasgadi. This is very important. Shabasgadi is important. Mansehra is important. Kandahar is important. These are outside India. They can even ask you. They can simply give you list of four edicts, 1, 2, 3, 4, and simply say which of the following are not in India. So which of the following are in Afghanistan? Which of the following are in Pakistan? So this map is very important. Sannati, Sopara or Nala Sopara, this is also a port city. Someone said in the comments, Nala Sopara is also a port city. Then we have Girnar. Girnar is also famous for an inscription. I gave a notes on inscription, don't worry. You have Dhauli, Jaugada, Amravati and Yerragudi. So these inscriptions, locations are important. These locations are important. They can ask you which of these are. Sir, I have decreased. Somebody said please increase. The only thing is that I will decrease again and I have to stick to this. This PDF is already provided. Okay, I have decreased the size. Leave it for a while. Yes, you're all right. These inscriptions are important. Please do revise them. Then there are 14 major rock edicts, 7 major pillar edicts. There are so many minor rock edicts. This number they will not ask you. With respect to edicts, so this is how an edict looks. This is how an edict looks. You have information which is inscribed on the rock or on the pillar. And as we were talking, there are Brahmi script is there. You have Prakrit. Then you have Kharoshti. All these scripts are present. Now, this map is important. This map is present in the Parliament of India. Which language? This map is present in Parliament of India, and this map is important. In some examination someday they may ask you about which location is present in which state. So along in all of these, there is one location that is very important, that is Musky. Musky is important. Musky inscription is important. We will discuss about it. The southern part of the country is called as Dakshinapada. The upper part of the country is called as Uttarapada. This is your Tamralipta, Toshali. This is Pratishthan. Pratishthan is also important. Pratishthan, they will ask you in the match the following. Pratishthan is in Maharashtra, right? Then this is Kurukshetra, Hastinapura. Please go through this map one time. This map is a mural which is there in Indian Parliament, and any day they can ask you questions on this. Now, next important, very important thing out of all these, the first inscription is Musky inscription. The reason why Musky inscription is so important is because the name Ashoka is mentioned in Musky inscription. See, in all the other inscriptions, Ashoka does not give his name. Ashoka does not give his name in all the other inscriptions. He calls himself as Devanam Priya, Piyadasi, Piyadasi. These are the words that Ashoka writes in all the other inscriptions. But in Musky inscription, which is in Karnataka, Ashoka wrote his name. So this is important. It is there in Karnataka. And after Musky inscription was deciphered, yes, James Princip is right. After Musky inscription was deciphered, people came to a conclusion that Devanampiya is same as Ashoka. So this is about Musky inscription. Then there is one more very important inscription which is known as Allahabad inscription. As someone said in the comment section, Allahabad inscription is important because this is a schism edict. Can someone tell me what is a schism edict? What is schism edict? Yes, Netturu, Brahmagiri. Yes, you're all right. Can someone tell me what is a schism edict, please? All right. During the times of Ashoka, when Buddhism was there, the people of Buddhism, of people who were following Buddhism, started fighting among themselves, and Buddhism started breaking down into multiple pieces. So at that point of time, Ashoka gives a warning saying that if somebody wants to break Buddhism, I will not tolerate. That message is known as schism edict, and schism edict is there in Allahabad. Allahabad inscription is also known as Prayag inscription or Prayaga Prasasti. This is Allahabad pillar. This is a pillar inscription. This was erected by Ashoka, and this contains inscriptions of Samudragupta and Jahangir also. So this inscription is also known as Prayag Prashasti, and in Prayag Prashasti, the story of Samudragupta is written. This inscription helps us to understand that Samudragupta is a son of Chandragupta and Kumara Devi. Kumara Devi is a Lichavi princess, right? So the entire information of the expansion of Samudragupta is written on Allahabad pillar inscription. So this is important. With respect to Allahabad pillar, there are three messages per se. First message is about Ashoka. Second message is about Samudragupta. Third is about Jahangir. They can ask you questions on Allahabad pillar inscription. Yes, Prayaga Prashasti is related to Harisen. You are right. You are absolutely right. Next inscription, there is one more edict called as Girnar rock inscription. So Girnar rock inscription says that Sudarshan Lake of Gujarat is built by Pushyagupta, who is a governor under Chandragupta Maurya. So Girnar inscription is very important. Kandahar is one edict where the information is written in Greek and Aramic script. Ruminde inscription is also very important. Ruminde inscription is in Lumbini of Nepal. Lumbini of Nepal is the birthplace of Buddha. So the inscription says that me, Ashoka, I came to Lumbini and I have lot of respect for Buddha. Because Lumbini is the birthplace of Buddha, I am giving tax concession to all those people who are staying in Lumbini. So this is a text that is written in Rumindai inscription. Next is Nigali Sagar inscription. Nigali Sagar inscription is in Nepal. Rumindai is also in Nepal. Sannati is important. Sannati inscription is in Karnataka. The reason why Sannati is important is because Sannati inscriptions gives you the list of all major rock edicts. It gives you the list of all major rock edicts which are there. That is the reason why Sannati inscription is important. Then obviously Kalinga rock edict. It talks about the Kalinga's the expedition towards Kalinga. There is one more which is Sohagora. Sohagora lo we have copper plate inscription. Sohagora is in Madhya Pradesh, right? So this is also important. Shabasgadi, Mansera, everybody knows. So these are some of the edicts that are important for us for the exam. Next is one table. This table is also important. This table is a match the following questions. This table again, it gives you state and the edict sites. So Uttar Pradesh, Sarnath, Rampur, Babul, Lauria, Araraj, Lauria, Nandangad, Bihar, Barabar Hills, Karnataka, Maski, Sannati, Nittur, Udayagolam, Gavimat, Orissa, Dhauli, Andhra Pradesh, Erragudi, right? Pakistan, Afghanistan. This table is important. This table they will ask you and match the following. Please go through this table. Then there are certain edicts that are important. See, there are edicts. Edicts are given numbers by Archaeological Survey of India, and each number has a specific message. I mean, they might ask you the messages. This can also be a match the following, where they are giving you the number on the edict and they are asking you what is the message on the edict. This can be asked in the examination, but I have picked up some numbers which are important. Please go through these numbers. These are important for your exam. Okay, I mean, as usual, I'm not spending much time on reading out these things. I don't want to waste. This notes is available in Siddhi app. In Siddhi app, you have tests and resources. In tests and resources, you have memory based papers. So Siddhi application lo tests and resources folder lo memory based papers ani oka folder undi. In that folder, you have the notes day 1, day 2. Their notes is available. Please go through this and revise these factual points. Then in the entire ancient history, the literature is important. Inscriptions are important. So I gave you the list of all important inscriptions. Okay. So first inscription is Hathi Gumfa inscription. Hathi Gumfa inscription is issued by Kharavela kings. So Kharavela kings are Jain kings. That is also an important point. So this was issued by Kharavela kings. This is in Orissa. This is important. Then you have Junagadh rock inscription, which was issued by the king Rudradaman I. Rudradaman I's Junagadh inscription talks about repair of Sudarshana Lake. This is important. And this is a very long inscription which is issued for the first time in Sanskrit. Yes, Hathi Gumfa, Kharavela kings of Chedi dynasty. You are right. Next, Junagadh rock inscription. On Junagadh rock inscription also, there are three messages. One is Ashoka, one is Rudradaman, one is Skandagupta message. Next is Naneghat inscription. Naneghat inscription belongs to Shatavahanas. Okay, Naneghat inscription belongs to Shatavahanas. This inscription has been issued by the queen of Shatavahanas, Naganika. So this says that Shatavahanas have more importance to queens. Okay, there is one temporary website that we are using, that is web.siddhiprep.com. You can use this website and log in. Then you have Mehrauli iron pillar. Mehrauli iron pillar is there in Delhi. Mehrauli iron pillar is very, very famous because this is made of iron, but it has not rusted yet. Can someone tell me in which complex do you have Mehrauli iron pillar? Mehrauli iron pillar ekkadundi? Yes, coins of Satavahanas. You are right, Shekhar. You are absolutely right. Where is Mehrauli iron pillar? In which complex do you have Mehrauli iron pillar? Yes, in Qutub Minar complex. Yes. So can someone tell me the Qutub Minar has been built by whom? Who built Qutub Minar? Let's have a very quick recap. Pair ochindi kabatti. Let us recap Qutub Minar. Who built Qutub Minar? Yes, in the memory of Qutbuddin Aibak is right. No. Qutbuddin Aibak built it in the memory of. In the memory of. Yeah, it is completed by Iltutmish. It has 5 stories. No, not Ghori, not Guri. Yes, Shekhar is right. His guru. I want his name. I'm waiting his name. There, yes, absolutely. Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki. Please don't think that Qutbuddin Aibak's memory is Qutub Minar. Qutbuddin Aibak kosam Qutub Minar katkoledu. It is for Qutbuddin Bakhtiyar Kaki, right? Who was this Delhi Sultan who commenced the construction of Alai Minar? Who started construction of Alai Minar? But it is not completed, of course. He wanted to build it. I mean, Qutbuddin Aibak కట్టింది అనుకుంటే చాలా పెద్దది కట్టాలని ట్రై చేస్తాడు, but it is not completed. Yes, Alauddin Khilji, very good, right. This is next. Can someone tell me about eye hole inscription? Eye hole inscription. Eye hole inscription was written by Ravi Kirti. It is there in Karnataka. It talks about Pulkeshin II's victory over Harsha. So, can please tell me on which river bank did this battle happen? Pulkeshin II defeated Harshavardhana, and on which river bank did this happen? Right, Narmada. Yes, you are absolutely right. So, Prayag Prashasti, we know that a Mandsaur is known. Iran inscription, they will ask you the location. Iran inscription is in Madhya Pradesh. They will definitely ask you this part. What about Sarnath pillar? Where is Sarnath pillar? Sarnath pillar is in UP. Sarnath is known for, no, it is not UP, it is not MP, it is UP. What is Sarnath known for in the life of Buddha? What is Sarnath known for in the life of Buddha? First sermon, which is also known as Dharma Chakra Parivartana. Okay, it is known as Dharma Chakra Parivartana, where he gave his first sermon. On which river bank? On the banks of river? On the banks of river. Please think of the river bank. Yes, Shekhar. It is on the banks of river Rijupalika. You are right. I was waiting if somebody can answer this. It is it is on the banks of river Rijupalika. There was no Ganga and Yamuna on that day. There's a playlist on this very channel here. Rijupalika, you are right. Yes, you are all right. Kalsi, Ruminda is important. Sanchis, Nala Sopara, this is all important. So in this PDF, I have prepared, see, all these questions that I'm going to show here are prepared using AI, and these are multi-statement questions. You can use these questions to get an idea on how to handle multi-statement questions and match the following questions. Okay, on this topic, I have prepared it. I am not dealing it now. Please download the PDF and go through the questions. You can use this for practice. There are multi-statement questions. There are 5 questions, and then I gave the answers. And at the end of second topic, again, I gave the questions, right? So now let us talk about next person that we are talking for today. Ashoka is done. We are talking about Harsha. Harsha belongs to which dynasty? Just a second. Let me check if I'm wrong. If I'm wrong, let me check it. Okay, I'm sorry, yaar. Yeah, you guys are right. Rijupalika is for Buddha. Sorry, Rijupalika is for Niranjana river. Yes, Rijupalika is for Niranjana river. Yeah. So Harsha belongs to Pushabhuti dynasty, which is also known as Vardana dynasty. Pushabhuti dynasty or Vardana dynasty. So this is the extent of Harshavardhana's empire. What is Harsha's capital? What is Harsha's capital? Harsha's capital? Thaneshwar. Yes, Thaneshwar to Kannauj, right. The shift was done by Thaneshwar to Kannauj. Earlier, the capital was at Thaneshwar. Harsha shifts it to Kannauj, right? So Harsha, see, the overall establishment of Harsha dynasty goes like this. There was a very big imperial empire which is known as Gupta Empire. And Gupta Empire broke down into pieces, and there was a lot of instability in North India. All these small people who were there, they were fighting amongst each other. There were a lot of warrior kingdoms. So among these, the one kingdom that was there is the Pushyabhuti dynasty. Pushyabhuti dynasty was based out of Thanishwar. So Pushyabhuti dynasty, which is also known as Vardana dynasty, comes into power and they establishes the whole thing. The kings that are there are Naravardhana, Rajavardhana, Adityavardhana, and Prabhakaravardhana. So after all these kings, the next person who comes to power is Harsha. Now please tell me, what are the major sources that we have to understand Harsha's rule? There are two sources. Please tell me the sources to understand Harsha's rule. There are two sources. Bhanabhatta's Harshacharita, Bhanabhatta's Harshacharita, and yes, I whole inscription does not give much information about Harsha. It is more of Pulakeshin too. Harshacharita, and there is one more writings of Huan Sang. There are writings of Huan Sang. Huan Sang visited Harsha's court. Sang wrote lot of things. Sang wrote lot of things about Harsha. So these are the two sources to understand about Harsha. One is Harsha Charitra, the other is Huan Sang's writings. And Harsha moved the capital from Thaneshwar to Kanauj. Harsha is also a writer by himself. Harsha wrote certain very important poetry that are asked in the examinations. One is Nagananda. As the word says, Naga Ananda. Right? So this is about a bodhisattva who sacrifices himself. The story is there only for you to understand. They will not ask you the story. Yet they won't ask you the story, but definitely Nagananda they will ask you in the exams. Then you also have Ratnavali. Ratnavali is a romantic story. Then you have Priyadarshika. These are the three writings written by Harsha himself. One is Nagananda, second is Ratnavali, third is Priyadarshika. Yes, you're all right. Then the court scholar you have is Banabhatta. Banabhatta wrote Harsha Charitra. Everybody knows this. Along with this, he also wrote Kadambari. No. Yuan Sang did not travel in 1629. No. 1629, Portuguese were already established in India. British were established in India. How can Yuan Sang come in 1629 year? No. Yuan Sang comes to Harsha's court. Then there is one university, that is Nalanda University. Now please tell me, who established Nalanda University? Which king established Nalanda University? Which king established Nalanda University? Kumaragupta, right. Kumaragupta. Now, with respect to Harsha's military campaigns, there are certain battles that you have to know. So, before I tell you the battles, please understand this is the kingdom of Vallabhi. And this is the entire region of Harsha. Right? This is the region of Harsha. This is the region of Chalukyas. Chalukyas was headed by Pulakeshin II. Now, the problem is that Chalukyas want to expand north and Harsha wants to expand south. But between these two guys, there is one big obstacle, which is Vindhya mountains and Satpura mountains. They cannot cross these mountains and go for a war. So the only route, if Chalukyas wants to go to north, is through Gujarat. If Harsha wants to come to south, it is through Gujarat. So this kingdom that is there, this is Vallabhi. So one day what happens is that Harsha decides that I want to have an advantage. I want to have the advantage in this war. I want to secure my western borders. So Harsha attacks Vallabhi. That battle is known as Battle of Vallabhi. In Battle of Vallabhi, Harsha wins, but he wants to maintain harmonious relations. Because he wanted to maintain harmonious relations, he marries the daughter of Vallabhi king. So that is the first battle, which is known as Battle of Vallabhi. There Dhruvasena is the ruler. Harsha attacks, Harsha defeats, and Harsha takes Vallabhi into control. Now Vallabhi is in the hands of Harsha. After this, obviously, the battle between Chalukyas and Harshavardhana is bound to happen, because they are standing at the borders of each other. Because they are standing at the borders of each other, the battle happens. And Pulakeshin II defeats Harsha. After that, river Narmada is fixed as the boundary of this entire region. Harsha remains to the north of the Narmada river, and Pulakesintu remains to the south of Narmada river, and this entire story is written in Aihole inscription of Ravi Kirti. Right, so this is all about the whole story, and the provinces were divided into various sections. First was a major province, then you have Vishayas, then you have villages. This is about Harsha. In Harsha, this table is important, where they are asking you the title of a person and the activity that they do. Uparikas, Kumaram, Matyas. Karnika is important. Karnika is same as modern day Karnam. Karnam garu antam kada, record రాసే వాళ్ళని. సో ఆ రికార్డ్స్ మెయింటైన్ చేసే వాళ్ళని కర్ణం గారు ఆర్ కర్ణిక అంటాం. This is important. Karnika comes from that word, right? And there are a lot of stories that are told by Huan Sang. They might ask you, if situations turn bad, they might ask you in tier 2 exam, which of the following are told by Huan Sang about Harshavardhan, because in the past they asked you what did Megasthenes tell about Chandragupta Maurya. This question was asked. They also asked what was written in Arthashastra. They asked whether women were allowed to participate in war or not. There were certain 2-3 statements that were given, and they asked which of the following were written in Arthashastra. So ఇది అడిగారు కాబట్టి based on the same thing Yuan Sang ఏం చెప్పాడు, they might ask you these questions also. Okay, this can be asked in the exams. They might ask you this. Now next part of the topic that we are talking today is the schools of art. There are 3 schools of art. First is Gandhar School of Art, next is Mathura School of Art, next is Amravati School of Art. Next 10 minutes, please don't spam anything in the comment section and focus. If you can focus for 10 minutes, I will help you understand these 3 schools. Mathura School, Gandhar School, Amravati School. I will teach you these 3 schools in such a manner that you will never forget anything. So please don't comment anything for the next 4 to 5 minutes, and please listen to it. I will tell you how these schools of art have emerged. So the first school of art that emerged was Gandhar School of Art. The story goes like this. Alexander comes and tries to invade to India, and the invasion of Alexander వచ్చిన తర్వాత that brings Greek into India. So Greek ఇండియాలోకి వచ్చిన తర్వాత గ్రీక్ వస్తారు. They are standing at the western front. Greek were there, and after Alexander, Seleucus Nicator tries to comes to India. So before they come to India, Greeks started occupying the regions of Afghanistan and Pakistan, right? So these regions of Afghanistan and Pakistan went into control of Greeks. Once Greece people occupied this region, they wanted to promote art. And the religion that was there in this region was Buddhism. So Buddhism was there. They wanted to promote art. And in Greece, in Roman philosophy, God has a life form. Till then, Buddhism did not have a life form. Buddha ki there were no images. Appadiki Buddhism lo alanti images levu. But Greece lo, Roman gods ki there were images. For example, Apollo was a Greece god who has an image. So Indo-Greeks wanted to bring the same style into Buddhism. So inspired from Apollo's photographs, Apollo ki unna sculptures and murtis untai kada, vaati nunchi inspire ayyi they came up with the school of art, that is Gandhar School of Art. So Gandhar School of Art is there in Afghanistan and Pakistan region. It is the earliest form of art. So out of these 3 schools, that is Gandhar, Mathura and Amravati, Gandhar School of Art has very simple structure. It has a plain hollow structure. And if you see properly, this region is known, or this region is famous for metamorphic rocks. White metamorphic rocks. If you take the regions of Kandahar and all, the Himalayan region is undergoing a lot of tectonic activity. There are a lot of rocks that got subducted millions and millions of years ago, and there are so many sedimentary rocks that underwent metamorphosis. So there are so much of metamorphic rocks available in the regions of Afghanistan and Pakistan. So the metamorphic rocks such as grey schist or grey rocks were used to manufacture Buddha's images, right? So this is the story with respect to Gandhar school. Over a period of time, as Indo-Greeks started to expand and come into the heartland of this country, this art started to spread. As long as it was there in Gandhar, It was inspired from the foreign influence. There were Greeks, it was based on Greeks. As it started coming towards the hinterland of this country, it started reaching the northern parts of country, that is Uttar Pradesh region. Once it reached Uttar Pradesh region, two things changed. One, the rock that was used. It is difficult for people to bring the gracious stone, the metamorphic rock, from Afghanistan to Mathura and manufacture Buddha's images. So they could not manufacture grey stone rocks. So they started using the material that was available there. In Uttar Pradesh region, red sandstone is famous. You take up any Mughal fort, you take up Delhi's Red Fort, it is made of red sandstone. You take up Fatehpur Sikri, it is made up of red sandstone. So the rock that was locally available, that is red sandstone, was used to make images. And in Mathura school, there was more refinement and there was more beauty that was added to Mathura school. While this was happening, in Buddhism started over a period of time after 4th Buddhist Council. Buddhism splits into two parts. One part is known as Mahayana Buddhism, the other part is known as Hinayan Buddhism. Both started differing a lot in their ideologies. What happens is Hinayan Buddhism leaves northern India and they come to southern part of the country, and Hinayan Buddhism started spreading across the regions of southern part of the country. This is the reason behind the emergence of the third school of art, that is Amaravati school of art. As these people started settling down in South India and they started expanding Buddhism towards Sri Lanka, that is Anuradhapura and Ceylon and the regions of southeastern Asia, Amaravati school of art developed in Andhra Pradesh. Andhra Pradesh is known for limestone. So, all the images that were built in Amaravati school of art were built using limestone. Hinayan Buddhism believes in Buddha's tales, the folk stories which are known as Jataka tales. So, all the images that were built in Amaravati school of art in the initial phases were based on the same Jataka tales. Over a period of time, because Amaravati school of art is the latest version, the more intricate detailed versions, decoration, jewelry and all the other intricate developments are seen in Amaravati school. So this is the emergence of three different schools of art. One is Gandhar school. Gandhar is a mix of Indo-Greek traditions. Just a second. Gandhar school is based on Indo-Greek traditions. This happened after the invasion of Alexander. It was in Afghanistan and Pakistan. This is the school of art that prepared the first Buddha statue. If you know, there is one Buddha known, very famous, which is known as Bamyan Buddha in Afghanistan, in the Kandahar province of Afghanistan. This is very, very famous. So, first Buddha statue, this is based on Greece influence. The halo is simple and it is based on Caucasoid, that is a Roman race. Roman body, plain hollow, flow and wavy hair, and it is grey schist. The next school is Mathura school. As Kushan Empire started expanding towards northern India, the art was brought to North India. Art came to North India, but for any art to develop a lot, you need the support of imperial kingdoms. So as Gupta Empire increased, as Gupta Empire started to expand, they gave patronage to Mathura school. Thus, Mathura school came into picture. At the same time, Nalanda Vikramshila universities were prospering. So, bronze was used and local material, that is red sandstone, was used. The imperial kings who supported Amaravati school of art are Shatavahanas and Ikshvakus. So, after the 4th Buddhist Council, as Buddhism started to split into Mahayana Buddhism and Hinayan Buddhism spreads in the southern part of the country, and Shatavahana dynasty grew as imperial kings of Andhra Pradesh, and this Buddhism flourished. And there you can see the modern day or the latest version of the art, that is Amaravati school of art, made up of white limestone. Here you can see more intricate details, more decoration can be seen. Floral patterns are seen, whereas flowing lines can be seen across Buddha, and initially depicted Jataka tales, but over a period of time it started depicting Buddhism also. So overall, Amaravati school of art is seen as a storytelling art or narrative art. Please tell me, did you understand these three schools of art? Gandhar, Mathura, and Amravati. This is the whole story behind these three schools, and this is one table which you can revise from the notes, right? So then there are again multi-statement questions for our practice based on the latest pattern. We will increase the standard of these questions day by day. I was just able to place 10 questions in this topic. So this is the whole story. Hindu gods were there. Buddhism did not have statues. This PDF is already shared. This PDF is there in Telegram channel. This PDF is there in Siddhi app. In both the places, this PDF is shared. Right? So this is the whole story with respect to the three schools of art. These three schools of art are very, very important. Trust me, in your CGL exam, in a day, if there are 3 shifts, డెఫినెట్గా ఒక్కరోజు ఒక షిఫ్ట్లో పక్కాగా ఈ స్కూల్ ఆఫ్ ఆర్ట్స్ గురించి క్వశ్చన్ వస్తుంది. అండర్స్టాండ్ దెమ్ ఇన్ దిస్ ఫ్యాషన్. ప్లీజ్ విజువలైజ్ దెమ్. You will not make a mistake in these 3 schools. Please don't mug it up. Now we will take up second part of today's class, that is we are going to take up medieval history. In medieval history, in today's class, I am taking up Babur, Humayun and Akbar for today. Our topic for today is about Babur, Humayun and Akbar. Hopefully, Vamshi. Hopefully. I am picking up the important topics and I am very hopeful, but I can only say hopefully. Okay, now the theme that we are studying today from medieval history is about Babur, Humayun and Akbar. Again, I will give you the basic context. Originally, around 1200 BC or 1290 CE, there was a majestic empire across the northern hemisphere, and this empire is known as Mongoloid Empire. Mongoloid Empire is known for a lot of ruthlessness, but over a period of time, Mongoloid Empire broke down into multiple pieces. When Mongoloid Empire was breaking down, one part was Mongol or Mongolistan, but in this entire region, there were certain dynasties that were coming up. One is in the regions of Iran, that is Safavid dynasty, and beyond this, there was Ottoman Turkish Empire, and there is one more empire in the Samarkand region. This is Uzbeks. So Uzbeks, ఇక్కడ సఫావిడ్ డైనస్టీ, ఇక్కడ ఆటోమన్ ఎంపైర్, ఇట్లా ఓవరాల్గా ఆ రీజన్ మొత్తం బ్రేక్ డౌన్ అయిపోవడం జరుగుతుంది. When this was breaking down, Babur is one person who claims himself from 2 dynasties, right? Babur is descendant of 2 dynasties. He is half Turkish, but he claims himself as primarily Turkish. So Babur is one person who was trying to establish himself in this regions of Uzbekistan. Babur is half Turkish, half Uzbek. Babur wanted to establish himself in Uzbekistan, but Uzbeks of Uzbekistan did not allow Babur to stabilize. So Babur could not stand here. He comes from Samarkand and he goes to the regions of Iran and Baghdad. In Iran and Baghdad, he was thrown out. He could not stabilize himself anywhere. At the same point of time, in India, Lodhis were in power. And the own family of Lodhis and Ranas of Rajputana were afraid of the rise of Lodhis. This was happening. Ibrahim, if I'm not wrong, it was Ibrahim Lodi who was in power. Yes. In northern India, Ibrahim Lodi was in power. And Rajputan, see, I'll show this with the help of map. Let us assume Babur is somewhere in this region. Okay. Please understand, Babur ikkada unnadu. He was trying somewhere in Safavid or Iran regions lo Babur was roaming around. Babur kuda oka generale, Babur ki kuda military undindi. India lo, Delhi lo, it was Ibrahim Lodi who was there in power. Delhi lo Ibrahim Lodi was in power, and Rajputana region lo we had Rana Sanga in power. Rana Sanga was there in power. Then what happens is that Ibrahim Lodi grow outunnappudu people were not happy with it. So Ibrahim Lodi own family lo there is one person named Daulat Khan Lodi. So Daulat Khan Lodi, Rana Sanga iddaru kalisi Babur ni invite చేస్తారు. Babur ni invite చేసి they call him to come and bomb on Ibrahim Lodi. Okay, or for example they call him to come for a war. So Babur comes to a war. Ibrahim Lodi and Babur faces off in the first battle of Panipat. What happens is that Babur wins the battle. Ibrahim Lodi lost the battle. The reason was that Babur introduces a new kind of warfare in India. Babur for the first time brings artillery, he brings gunpowder, and he brought cannons. On one side, Ibrahim Lodi, or for that matter, next Rana Sanga, these people were sitting on elephants and they were going for a war. Babur on the other side was fighting with large artillery with the help of topes and cannons. So what Babur did was that these cannons were made to fire just beside the elephants. Elephants నిలబడి ఉంటాయి అటు సైడ్ నుంచి వార్కి వచ్చాడు ఇబ్రహీం లోడి సైడ్ నుంచి, ఇటు సైడ్ నుంచి బాబర్కి ఆర్టిలరీ క్యానన్స్ ఉంటాయి. మంగలాయిడ్ సైడ్ నుంచి he brings in new kinds of warfare system where he was he was dividing his army into various contingents. One contingent was made to station in the city of Panipat. ఇలా రకరకాల వార్ఫేర్ని యూజ్ చేసి తోప్లని ఎలిఫెంట్స్ పక్కన బాంబింగ్ చేయిస్తాడు. సో ఎలిఫెంట్స్ పానిక్ అవుతాయి, పానిక్ అయ్యి వెనక్కి పారిపోవడం స్టార్ట్ చేసి వాళ్ళ ఓన్ ఆర్మీని తొక్కేస్తాయి. అలా ఎలిఫెంట్స్ మీద కూర్చున్న ఇబ్రహీం లోడి ఓడిపోతాడు, బాబర్ గెలుస్తాడు. అయితే ఒరిజినల్ అరేంజ్మెంట్ ఏంటంటే బాబర్ హ్యాస్ టు లీవ్ అండ్ దౌలత్ ఖాన్ లోడి అండ్ రాణా సాంగా విల్ గెట్ ది పవర్. దిస్ వాజ్ ది ఒరిజినల్ అరేంజ్మెంట్. బట్ వన్స్ బాబర్ విన్స్, Babur decides to stay in India because in Uzbekistan, yes, Tulgama strategy. I wanted to give that word. I'll tell you. So Babur wanted to stay in India. The reason was that he lost his ground in Uzbekistan. He was thrown out of Iran. He was thrown out of. He did not have any place in Ottoman Empire. Kabatti what Babur feels is that I'm here to stay. I'm here to stay is the decision that was taken by Babur. So because Babur decides to stay, the next battle that happens is with Rana Sanga. Rana Sanga ki Babur ki battle jarugutadi. The same Tulgama strategy was used by Babur. The same Tulgama strategy was used by Babur where he would divide his entire military strategy. If let us say this is Babur's front, he would create one left flank, one party would be kept for reserve. He would create one right flank, and then there is one more infantry battalion which was stationed. This is a mix of this is cavalry. Cavalry was placed behind. Front side there was artillery. Artillery would fire first and later cavalry would occupy. So this is the basic thing, right? This is known as Tulgama strategy. Babur used the same strategy, and on Rana Sanga he goes for a war. Rana Sanga was defeated. This is known as Battle of Khanwa. And once after, so basically Babur came in the first Battle of Panipat and he occupied this region. Next he goes to the Rana Sanga's region and in Battle of Khanwa. After Battle of Khanwa was done, the next battle that happens is Battle of Chanderi in the regions of Madhya Pradesh. So he goes for Battle of Chanderi. After Battle of Chanderi was done, he goes to the next battle against Afghan Confederacy. So he starts with the first Battle of Panipat, then Battle of Khanwa, Battle of Chanderi, then Battle of Ghaggar. In this manner, Babur occupies this entire region of North India, and Babur establishes the first dynasty, that is the Mughal dynasty. So Mughal comes from the word Mongol or Mongoloid. Babur never considered himself as Indian. He was not even ready to get himself cremated in India. Babur was not cremated in India. Babur was buried in Kabul. In the initial periods of time, all their administration and all went from Afghanistan and Kabul region. So with respect to Babur, these battles are important. First Battle of Panipat is important. Battle of Khanwa, Battle of Chanderi, Battle of Ghaggar. At least Khanwa and Chanderi are important for you, right? And one literature that is important is Baburnama or Tuzke Babri. This was written in Turkish language. So this is about Babur. Babur's conquest is important in India in certain factors. First factor why Babur's conquest is important is because Babur brings in new kind of warfare into India. Till then there was no artillery in India. Till then there was no artillery in India. No, Babur did not speak anything about I mean he might have spoken anything things about Krishnadev Rai, because yes, they were contemporaries. They were contemporaries, yes. So Babur brings in artillery into India. That is one thing. So this changes the entire war dynamics, and now onwards, whoever king is richer, they will win the wars, because gunpowder was very costly. And Babur also brought in Char Bhag style of gardens into India. Mughals are very famous for gardens. They will divide their garden into 4 pieces. This is garden, 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 and garden. This kind of architecture, this kind of gardening or Char Bhag style of gardening was brought into India by Babur. right? So this is about the contributions of Babur. And Babur tarvata, the next guy who comes is obviously Humayun. There is nothing much to know about Humayun. There are two battles. One battle is Battle of Chausa, the other battle is Battle of Kannauj. Both battles happened. Battle of Chausa was there, and then Battle of Kannauj. Rendu battles లోను Humayun ఓడిపోతాడు. షేర్షా సూరి గెలుస్తాడు. సూరి dynasty remains in power. We are not studying about Suris. The next person that we are talking today is Akbar. Akbar is important for exams. So Akbar comes to power at a very, very young period. So please tell me, who is the regent of Akbar? Who is the regent of Akbar? Akbar regent ever? Param Khan. Yes. Who is the foster mother? Yes, I hope these one-liners will not be asked in the exam. So as Akbar wanted to come to power, Akbar faces three people, or three frontal war is faced by Akbar. He faces three frontal war. On one side from India, there was Hemu, who was a military general of Suri dynasty. On the other side, there was Sikandar Shah Shuri. Then on the other side, there was Kabul. So Ila Akbar had three people to handle. Hemu is a very famous king. అప్పటికి హేము ఎలాంటి బ్యాటిల్ ఓడిపోలేదు. హేము అప్పటికి 22 వార్స్లో పార్టిసిపేట్ చేస్తాడు. అన్ని వార్స్ గెలుస్తాడు. హేము విన్స్ ఆల్ ద 22 వార్స్ అండ్ హేము టేక్స్ ఎ టైటిల్ known as విక్రమాజిత్ ఆర్ విక్రమాదిత్య. హేము is working for ఆదిల్ షా సూరి, రైట్? సో ఇది హేము కదా. సో ఆబ్వియస్లీ హేము అండ్ అక్బర్ ఫేస్ ఆఫ్ హ్యాపన్స్. దిస్ is known as the second battle of Panipat. In second battle of Panipat, again Akbar wins and Hemu lost this battle. The same Tulgama strategy was applied by Akbar also. So there were flanks, there was infantry, spelling mistakes in Patishkokan, there was infantry, there was artillery. Indian kings were going with war elephants, they were coming with artillery. So the same Tulgama strategy was used by Akbar also, right? And Akbar wins in the battle of Panipat and Akbar continues to establish power. So what happens is that Akbar does his Panipat campaign, and after Panipat campaign, then he goes and annexes Bengal. Now from Kabul to Bengal, this entire stretch comes under the influence of Akbar. After this, under the influence of Bairam Khan, he goes to west and he occupies Ajmer, and he also comes till Malwa. This was Akbar's conquest during the reign of Bairam Khan. So after Bairam Khan period, then he focuses his eye on Rajputana. With respect to Rajputana, there are certain battles that are very important for exams. First most important battle is about the siege of the fort of Chittorgarh. Right? There is one important battle, that is siege of the fort of Chittorgarh. That is important. Then there is the other battle, that is Battle of Haldighati. Battle of Haldighati is between Mughals versus Rana Pratap. Chittorgarh siege was done by Akbar. At that point of time, Maharana Uday Singh was the king. And after he lost Chittorgarh, then he goes to Udaipur and he establishes the city of Udaipur. So over a period of time, Mughal empire grows. Then he goes to Gujarat campaign. In Gujarat campaign, the king was Muzaffar Shah. Please revise this part. This line is important. After Akbar wins Gujarat, he builds Buland Darwaza. Buland Darwaza was built by Akbar. Then Akbar administration is important. The names are important. For example, Wazir is the head of revenue. Bakshi or Mir Bakshi is the head of military. Right? These names are important. I gave a separate table again. Now, provincial administration is also important. Province is known as Suba or Subadar. Sarkar is district headed by Fauzdar. Then you have Shikdar. Then you have Mukaddam, Patwari or Chowdhury. Idi Adugutaru. You have to study what they do. This is clearly given in the table. Please go this. Yes, Akbar abolished Jizya. You are absolutely right. We will talk about it. Akbar comes up with a concept called as Deen-e-Ilahi. Deen-e-Ilahi is not a religion. Akbar wanted to build the harmony among all the religions. Akbar అందరి మధ్యలో హార్మనీని బిల్డ్ చేద్దామని ట్రై చేస్తాడు. సో ఆయన హీ కమ్స్ అప్ విత్ అ కాన్సెప్ట్ కాల్డ్ as Deen-e-Ilahi, రైట్? సో ఇది అక్బర్ చేసిన వన్ మేజర్ చేంజ్ ఏంటంటే అక్బర్ ఇంట్రడ్యూసెస్ మన్సబ్దారీ సిస్టమ్. మన్సబ్దారీ సిస్టమ్ ప్రకారం దేర్ ఆర్ టూ వర్డ్స్. వన్ వర్డ్ ఇస్ జాత్, ది అదర్ వర్డ్ ఇస్ సవార్. జాత్ అంటే పర్సన్కి ఇచ్చే ర్యాంక్, సవార్ అంటే ఎన్ని హార్సెస్ మెయింటైన్ చేయాలో దాన్ని సవార్ అంటారు. So Zat and Sawar were introduced. This is Mansabdari system that was introduced by Akbar. Next, Akbar point of view, exams kadigedi, there is one system which is known as Zabt. Zabt or Zapti system. Zapti system తీసుకొని వచ్చింది రాజా తోడర్మల్. సో జప్తి సిస్టమ్ ఏంటి అంటే ల్యాండ్ని కొలిచి ట్యాక్స్ని వసూలు చేస్తారు. దిస్ ల్యాండ్ ఈజ్ మెజర్డ్ ఇన్ టర్మ్స్ ఆఫ్ బీగాస్ అండ్ మెజర్మెంట్ వాజ్ డన్. బ్యాంబూ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ అవుతుంది. బ్యాంబూ ఇంట్రడ్యూస్ చేసి బ్యాంబూని యూజ్ చేసి ల్యాండ్ని మెజర్ చేస్తారు. ఓకే, సో ల్యాండ్ని మెజర్ చేస్తారు. దిస్ ఈస్ నోన్ as జప్తి సిస్టమ్. This is important. Zapti was introduced by Raja Todalmal. This table is very, very important. Mir Bakshi, head of military. Wazir revenue. I am not reading this. I don't want to waste your time by reading facts. Please understand this table is important. Khalisa land choose kondi. This they will ask you. Yes, Dahshala system. Yes, that system is known as Dahshala system, where see Dahshala system is with respect to armed forces reforms. In Dahshala system earlier, see before Dahshala system or before Akbar came to power, what happened was that in military ela undedante feudal lords will maintain army, feudal lord will supply army to the king, so they will not maintain the numbers correctly. There was a lot of corruption that was going on. Once Akbar comes to power, he introduces a system known as Dahshala system. Under Dahshala system, all the horses were given names, numbered, and oka register maintain chesi they would write about the description of the horses and they gave marking to the horses. So when there is an inspection, if the mansabdar is not maintaining the required number of horses, then he would be punished. That kind of system where they are maintaining the chehra and dhag. This system is known as Dahshala. This system was introduced in the revenue. This system was introduced in the armed forces. Then the revenue system that was done, that is about your measurement of land and calculation of or the collection of revenue, right? So idi kada. I tried to switch into Telugu, but I'm really finding problem to talk, and I'm very, very sorry. I can't maintain the flow. చూసారు కదా ఎంత ఇబ్బంది పడుతున్నానో మాట్లాడడానికి. సో ఐఎమ్ నాట్ కంటిన్యూయింగ్. ది రిలీజన్ దట్ కమ్స్ అప్ ఇస్ దీన్యే ఇలాహీ రిలీజన్. దిస్ ఇస్ నాట్ అ రియల్ రిలీజన్. ఇన్ఫాక్ట్ తప్పులు కూడా చెప్తున్నాను పొరపాటున. నా వల్ల కాదు చేయనా పని. ఓకే, ఐ హావ్ ఇనఫ్ థింగ్. ఐ ట్రైడ్ బట్ ఐ కాంట్ డూ. Shesha administration was followed by Akbar. Yes. So Dine Ilahi, this is important. Then Akbar introduces architecture. Architecture is important. Akbar point of view, in Akbar's point of view, there are certain elements of Akbar's or Mughal's architecture. First is known as Jharoka Darshan. Jharoka Darshan is the darshan that happens from the balcony. King would come out of balcony and people will wave to the Sultan. This darshan is known as Jharoka Darshan. This was introduced by Akbar. And Indo-Persian art or the confluence of Indo-Persian architecture could be seen in the entire Akbar's monuments, etc. This is a list of monuments that are constructed by Akbar: Buland Darwaza, Jama Masjid, Diwane Khas, Diwane Am, Panch Mahal, Jodhbhai Palace, Akbar Tomb. All these are important, and along with that, Akbar Nama is important, Aine Akbar is important. These were written by Abu Fazl. This is a screenshot that is taken from NCERT. Please go through these notes. This is important for you. Abu Fazl is a court historian of Akbar. He wrote Akbar Nama and he wrote Aine Akbari. Aine Akbari is the third part which is there within Akbar Nama, right? So this is about this. Can someone tell me the names of Navaratnas? Just for 1 minute, please tell me the names of Navaratnas. Good. Nice answers. So you are all right. You have Abu Fazl, you have Faizi, then you have Mia Tansen, Birbal, Todarmal, Raja Mansingh, Abdul Rahim Khane Khana, right? Mullah Do Piazza. These are important. Their works are important. Raja Todarmal introduces Zabt and the Dahsala system of land revenue. This is important. Tansen introduces Drupad and Hindustani classical music. Faizi is known for Bhagavad Gita. I don't know who this guy is. Abu Fazl is known for Akbarnama and Aine Akbari. So this is a part of medieval history. I would just like to take a moment and talk to you guys for just 1 minute. Then I'll go to modern history again. I've had enough of nonsense. అయింది అయిపోయింది, ఇంకా నాతో కాదు. నేను చాలా ట్రై చేస్తున్నాను తెలుగులో మాట్లాడడానికి. నాకు సబ్జెక్ట్ తెలుగులో చెప్పడం రాదు. బట్ స్టిల్ పీపుల్ ఆర్ పుషింగ్ అస్ బియాండ్ దిస్ లిమిట్. సో టుడే ఆన్వర్డ్స్ ది ఛానల్ నేమ్ విల్ బి చేంజ్. తెలుగు అనేది ఛానల్లో నుంచి కంప్లీట్గా తీసేస్తున్నాను. ఐ బిలాంగ్ టు తెలుగు స్టేట్. బట్ అంటాం కదా, ఒక స్థాయి దాటి ఒక పాయింట్ దాటిన తర్వాత మనకి ఆ డెకోరం మెయింటైన్ చేయడం రాదు, గోలగోల చేస్తామని చెప్పేసి. సో పీపుల్ స్టార్టెడ్ పుషింగ్ ఫర్ ఓట్ ఫర్ తెలుగు అండ్ ఆల్. మీరు ఎంతైనా ఓట్ చేసుకోండి, నాతో కాదు. నేను తెలుగులో చదవలేదు. ఐ నెవర్ స్టడీడ్ ఎనీ ఆఫ్ ద బుక్స్ ఇన్ తెలుగు. ఐ నెవర్ ప్రిపేర్డ్ ఇన్ తెలుగు. I gave n number of descriptive examinations. So the language that I'm good at to take up classes and explain is only in English. నేను స్విచ్ చేయడానికి ట్రై చేసి, మీరు నోటీస్ చేశారో లేదా, దహశాల సిస్టమ్ తప్పు చెప్పాను. దహశాల సిస్టమ్ బిలాంగ్స్ టు రెవెన్యూ అండ్ ల్యాండ్ రెవెన్యూ రిఫార్మ్స్. నేను దహశాల సిస్టమ్ని తీసుకుని వెళ్ళి చెహరా అండ్ ధాగ్ అని చెప్పాను. నేను లాంగ్వేజ్ని స్విచ్ చేయడానికి ప్రాబ్లం అయితే కనుక నేను ఇంగ్లీష్లో ఆలోచించి తెలుగులో ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేసి మాట్లాడాలి. అండ్ ఐఎమ్ మేకింగ్ మిస్టేక్స్ వెన్ ఐఎమ్ టేకింగ్ క్లాస్ and when I'm speaking in Telugu. So I will not do this. The channel name will be changed. Do whatever you want to. Naching cheskondi, nachide English lo chudandi, lekapothe maaneyandi. I've had enough of this nonsense. I seriously had enough of this. Inga naatoni kaadu. I will continue only and only in English. Happen what may. ఒక పాయింట్ దాటి మంచితనం పనికి రాదు. యా, ఐ విల్ కంటిన్యూ. ఐ జస్ట్ వాంట్ టు టెల్ హియర్, నేను ట్రై చేస్తుంటే తప్పులు చెప్తున్నాను. ఐ మీన్ టు మై డిస్మే ఒక్కళ్ళు పాయింట్అవుట్ చేశారు, దహశాల సిస్టమ్ తీసుకెళ్ళి చెహ్రా అండ్ దాగన్ ఎందుకు అంటున్నారు అనేసి. ద ప్రాబ్లమ్ ఈస్ యూజువలీ పీపుల్ వెన్ సంబడి ఫ్రమ్ హిందీ మీడియం, వాళ్ళకి హిందీలో మాట్లాడి ఇంగ్లీష్లో ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేయడానికి ఇబ్బంది అవుతుంది. బట్ నా ప్రాబ్లం ఏంటంటే, నేను చదివింది ఇంగ్లీష్లో. ఆల్ నా బుక్స్ ఐ స్టడీడ్ ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్ అండ్ ఐ రిటన్ ఇన్ ఇంగ్లీష్. నేను ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేస్తుంటే నేను ఏం ట్రాన్స్లేట్ చేస్తున్నానో కూడా నాకు అర్థం కాదు. కాబట్టి ఐ హ్యాడ్ ఇనఫ్ ఆఫ్ నాన్సెన్స్. ది మ్యాటర్ ఎండ్స్. ఎక్కడైనా మరీ ఇంట్రెస్టింగ్ స్టోరీ అనుకుంటే ట్రై చేస్తాను. బట్ దిస్ ఇస్ ఇట్. లెట్స్ గెట్ బ్యాక్ టు మోడర్న్ హిస్టరీ. సో ఇవాళ మనం ఏన్షియంట్ హిస్టరీ ఫినిష్ చేసాం, మిడివల్ హిస్టరీ ఫినిష్ చేసాం. ఏన్షియంట్ మిడివల్ అయిపోయింది. We are talking about modern history. In modern history, today's topic that I am taking up is Regulating Act of 1773 nunchi Charter Acts varaku. Till today, all the questions that were being asked are from ancient history and medieval history. I am not saying that there are no questions that are asked in modern history, but more number of questions were asked from ancient and medieval history. Till today, not much themes are there in modern history. So I have picked up a theme that is important. There are three topics the topics that we are talking here is Regulating Act of 1773, Pitt's India Act of 1784, Charter Act of 1813 and Charter Act of 1833. I will tell you the context that is there, the story that was there behind these acts and why these acts were enacted. Then you will understand the provisions of these acts. Acts enduku vachinayo story teliste provisions gurtupettukodam easy. Story teliyakapote acts gurtupettukodam chala kashtam. With respect to admit card, yes, SSC one morning I called on SSC SR and I requested them that what is the problem, and వాళ్ళ ఆన్సర్ ఏంటి అంటే, అడ్మిట్ కార్డ్స్ విషయంలో వాళ్ళ సైడ్ నుంచి ప్రాబ్లం ఉంది, వాళ్ళు అవి కరెక్ట్ చేస్తున్నారు. దే ఆర్ ట్రయింగ్ టు సాల్వ్ ది సెంటర్ ఇష్యూ. ఈ దూరం పడ్డ సెంటర్ని సాల్వ్ చేయడానికి కొంచెం ట్రై చేస్తున్నారు. దానివల్లనే వాళ్ళు అడ్మిట్ కార్డ్ని పక్కన పెట్టేశారు. దట్ వాస్ ది ఆన్సర్ దట్ వాస్ గివెన్ బై దమ్. సో యూ విల్ గెట్ యువర్ అడ్మిట్ కార్డ్స్. నౌ వీఆర్ టాకింగ్ అబౌట్ డిఫరెంట్ యాక్ట్స్. First act that we are going to talk today is Regulating Act of 1773. The act was passed in 1773, but the problem of this entire act starts back in 1764. In 1700, yes, Shekhar, the download option has been disabled is what they said. వాళ్ళే చెప్పారు, మీకు డౌన్లోడ్ అవ్వదు, కొంతమందికి డీటెయిల్స్ కనిపించవు, ఈ ప్రాబ్లం మా నుంచే ఉంది, మేము ఈ ప్రాబ్లమ్ని రెక్టిఫై చేస్తున్నాం, మాకు కొద్దిగా టైం కావాలి, రేపటి ఎగ్జామ్ వాళ్ళది అర్లియస్ట్గా చేస్తాము, తర్వాత ఎగ్జామ్ వాళ్ళది లేట్గా వస్తుందని వాళ్ళు చెప్పారు. దట్ దిస్ ఈస్ దేర్ రెస్పాన్స్. సో ఐ హోప్ అట్లీస్ట్ 26 వాళ్ళది వచ్చేసింది అనుకుంటున్నాను. మీది కూడా వస్తుంది, డోంట్ వరీ. Yeah. The story behind the Regulating Act of 1773 starts way back in 1764. In 1764, what happens is that a Battle of Buxar happens and East India Company wins over Bengal. With Battle of Buxar, the entire regions of Bengal, Bihar, Orissa, Uttar Pradesh, and Delhi, everything comes into the hands of East India Company. And East India Company is not in a position, they are not interested to take up the administrative activity. So they introduces a system which is yes, under Treaty of Allahabad. Yes, you are right. Under Treaty of Allahabad, they introduces a diarchy kind of a system or dual form of government system where Nizamat rights are with the Nizams or the kings. Diwani rights are taken by East India. Nizamat right means maintenance of law and order, whereas Diwani right means the collection of revenue. So the system is created in such a way that East India Company is collecting all the revenue, whereas the Nizam has to maintain the law and order. Nizam has to take care of the welfare of people, whereas Nizam did not have any money. This system continued for years and years, and there was lot of plundering in Bengal. East India Company officials started becoming rich. The Diwani rights that were issued to them were used for their own benefit. East India Company started involving in private trade. The company officials were becoming rich on one side, and on the other side, companies started becoming poor. Companies started reporting lot of losses. East India Company did not have any money, whereas Robert Clive went back to England with 3 times the amount of profit and 3 times the money that he had when he came to India. This was happening on one side. On the other side, Nizam did not have anything. And in 1770, there was a great famine in Bengal. So overall, the situation goes like this. East India Company now goes to Britain Parliament with a bowl asking for money. Asking for money, East India Company goes to Britain Parliament with a bowl. Now, the Britain Parliament realizes that if we don't take reforms at this moment, it will be difficult to control the bad administration that was happening in East India Company. So, Regulating Act of 1773 was passed in such a way that the power is slowly and gradually transferred to the Britain Parliament, and East India Company takes care of only administrative activity. ఇది రెగ్యులేటింగ్ యాక్ట్ ఆఫ్ 1773 వెనకాలన్న స్టోరీ. దానికోసమే ఈస్ట్ ఇండియా కంపెనీ ఆఫీషియల్స్ కరప్షన్ని కంట్రోల్ చేయడానికి దే హ్యావ్ బ్రాట్ ఇన్ సుప్రీం కోర్ట్. సో సుప్రీం కోర్ట్ ఆఫ్ Calcutta was established to control and to punish any East India Company official who was accepting bribe or who will accept any kind of private gifts. And they wanted to centralize the entire power. Before Regulating Act of 1773, there was Governor of Bengal, there was Governor of Bombay, and there is a Governor of Madras. These three people were fighting amongst themselves. For example, if you remember the Treaty of Salbai that happens in somewhere in the years of 1772 with Marathas, original Treaty of Pune was signed between Marathas and the Governor of Bombay. But when it goes to Warren Hastings, he does not agree with it. We studied about this in Anglo-Maratha Wars. So there was the problem of jurisdiction. There was no centralization. There was no one person who could answer for the lapses of East India Company. So the Governor General of Bengal post was created. There was centralization. All the power was concentrated in Bengal. Bombay and Madras had to report to this guy. And if East India Company officials were involving in any kind of corruption, Supreme Court was established and one council was attached to the Governor General of Bengal so that Britain Parliament can send people into this council. Governor General of Bengal was attached with one executive council so that people of the executive council will be selected by the Britain Parliament, and in that manner Britain Parliament will retain its control on East India Company. So this is a whole purpose behind the Regulating Act of 1773 and the provisions of 1773 Act. So if you can understand the reasons, you can clearly understand the provisions. So after 1773, for the next 10 years, the Regulating Act of 1773 continues to happen. Britain Parliament expects that there will be lot of positivity and change in East India Company. They expected that East India Company will now flourish, it will now thrive. But the opposite happens. Warren Hastings also do involve in lot of corruption. He takes a lot of company from the local nawabs. He also increases his fortunes and his riches. East India Company was still in a very, very decline. So after 10 years, Pitt decides that the new act is needed. So Pitt's India Act comes in 1784. And in Pitt's India Act, they wanted that we want more control. So earlier in first act, there was Governor General of Bombay and there was just one executive council with 4 people. This was the limited power of parliament. Governor General of Bombay, sorry, Bengal. Governor General of Bengal and the executive council with 4 people. This was the initial control. But Britain Parliament feels that this control is not enough. We have to separate the company's activities. We have to separate political activities. We have to separate the commercial activities. And here onwards, British government will decide the political activities. British Parliament will decide who will annex who will participate in which war, and East India Company is supposed to focus only on the commercial activities. So through Pitt's India Act, East India Company's activities were completely split into 2 parts. One part was commercial activities, one part was political activities. The political activities will be controlled by British East India Company. So the control was given in one board which is known as Board of Control. So Board of Control is there to handle political affairs. Britain Parliament wanted to handle the political affairs. So the cabinet members of the British cabinet sat in the Board of Control. Whereas to manage the commercial affairs, the board that was established is known as Court of Directors. So this is the Pitt's India Act. This is a Pitt's India Act. So this was a second step. First step was that you had Governor General of Bengal with the 4 people in the Executive Council, and Britain Parliament thinks that this is not enough. So now they started splitting the power. They do Board of Control and they bring in Court of Directors. This happens in the second step, that is Pitt's India Act. After that, again, next 15 to 20 years continues to happen, and by 1813, different activities happen in Britain. First change that happens in Britain is that there was industrial revolution. There was industrial revolution. So because there is industrial revolution, there are a lot of new companies that started popping up in Britain. East India Company started as merchant adventurers company way back somewhere in the fag ends of 1500s. But by 1800s, after industrial revolution, there were so many new companies that were there in Britain. That's the first thing. Second thing, British versus French, there were a lot of wars that happened in Europe. Because of these two activities, Britain in itself, Britain Parliament and the country Britain in itself wanted more and more money. If they wanted more money, they want more trade, they want more companies of Britain to go to various markets. So they wanted expansion of markets. So by 1813, fueled by industrial revolution and the market lobby that was there in Britain, because of these two reasons, new act was brought in which is known as Charter Act of 1830. The entire complaint that was there in UK was that why the hell East India Company should have monopoly? Why can't other companies go and trade with India? Why only East India Company? We are also there. We are a part of industrial revolution. We are manufacturing a lot of things. But why only East India Company is going to India and selling the products? That was the political movement that happens in Britain. And because of that political movements, in the Charter Act of 1813, the monopoly of the East India Company was ended, except is important because still East India Company is a powerful lobby. It was able to hold its control. It was able to pull the enough strings that it could, and tea was still continued. Tea continued to be the monopoly of East India Company. సో మొనోపలీని ఎండ్ చేయాలి అనే క్వశ్చన్ తోటి గొడవ స్టార్ట్ అవుతుంది. స్టార్ట్ అయిన తర్వాత టీ ఒక్క దాంట్లోనూ మొనోపలీ ఈస్ట్ ఇండియా కంపెనీకే స్టిల్ కంటిన్యూ చేస్తారు. బట్ 1813 యాక్ట్ రిమూవ్స్ ది మొనోపలీ of the entire trade. Along with this, there was other thing that was happening. Europe as a country has always this hegemony. They feels that they want to civilize the world. The entire European perspective is that Europe's problems are world's problems, whereas world's problems are not Europe's problems. This is the attitude of Europe since long time. So Europeans wanted to civilize the entire world, and in classical terms, they call this as white man burden theory. In the same manner, the people who were living in Britain started to pressurizing the government of Britain, asking that let us start allowing Christian missionaries into India. They will now go to India and they will now start, evangelizing. They will now start, what is here? And they want to civilize people. This is a very very sensitive matter, so I'm searching for words. The whole point is that Christian missionaries started putting pressure on Britain government, and Christian missionaries were finally allowed into India. So by 1813 act, Christian missionaries were allowed into India, and they started spending money on education of Indians. The reason was that they wanted a section of people who would appreciate a British way of life. Ante, this is a part of slow propaganda. This is a part of slow brainwashing, slow radicalization, where they want to create a group of people who will appreciate that British is good for us. So Indians ki English education ఇవ్వాలి, మన వే ఆఫ్ లైఫ్ చూపించాలి, మన లైఫ్ బాగుంటుంది అని ఒక ఫీలింగ్ తీసుకురావాలి. Slowly and steadily, we want a group of people who can work for us, who will be our slaves, who can understand our language, who can understand our practices, and who will appreciate that British is good for India. So, for all these colonial intent, 1813 Charter Act was passed. One was to expand markets, second was to allow missionaries, and third was to create an educated class of slaves who will work as clerks for the company. Right? So, this is about the Charter Act of 1813. The next act is Charter Act of 1833. So between 1813 and 1833, there was lot of industrialization. So all these companies were putting more and more pressure on England. So industrial revolution started demanding that we want India completely in the hands of Britain, because we want Indian market. For market, we want this country. We want political annexation. We want to expand everything. So in 1833, Charter Act was brought. If you see properly, Charter Act was brought in 1833. After 1833, British goes into forceful annexations. For example, doctrine of lapse was there. Doctrine of lapse was brought in the name of maladministration. Right? వీటన్నిటి పేరుతోటి అవధ్, ఝాన్సీ, సతారా, పూణే, రైట్, పేష్వాస్ని తీసేస్తారు. ఇట్లా అందరినీ తీసేసి 1833 నుంచి 1853 మధ్యలో they started going for forceful annexation, because they now decided that now that we have industrial revolution, we want complete integration of India మొత్తం మనకే కావాలి, మొత్తం మార్కెట్ మాకే కావాలి అని చెప్పేసి 1833లో they bring the second act, where they say that ఈస్ట్ ఇండియా కంపెనీ పని ఇక్కడ నుంచి కమర్షియల్ ఫంక్షన్స్ కాదు, మీ పని కమర్షియలైజేషన్ కాదు, మీ పని వార్ చేయండి. యూ గో ఫర్ వార్, యూ ఎనెక్స్, you expand the territories. Commercial functions is a market, so new companies will come in. You go, you expand everywhere, you establish as an administrative power. If you see properly, after 1833 Charter Act, British East India Company started occupying the administrative power. Because they started taking the administrative power, people got offended. Finally, everything culminated into a fight as a 1857 revolt. So 1833 Act, more centralization. They wanted to do more centralization, because now they are giving the entire administrative power into their hands. So there was more centralization, and William Bentinck becomes the Governor General of India. So this is about the Charter Act of 1833. Right? So this is the whole story of Charter Acts of 1833, and this ends the topic of modern history today. We have done ancient history, we have done medieval history, we have done modern history in this part. Now we are going to geography. I just want to know how many of you are still with the class. Are you guys tired out? First of all, please tell me, did you get a clarity on the regulating acts, British Act, Charter Act of 1833? Now, will you visualize the context, and now can you mark the whole options if they give multi-statement questions? Can you now answer with logic? Right? So this is the story behind these acts and the reasons why these acts were passed. Now my question is, the next topic that I want to take up in geography today is that I want to talk about Coriolis force, the planetary wind systems, and I want to talk about how monsoons come into India, and the retreat, El Nino, La Nina, Indian Ocean dipole. Right, this was the topic that I wanted to talk. Now my question is, are you with me? Like, are you guys exhausted, or can you absorb this? This is very conceptual. This is very, very conceptual. So can you guys absorb this? Or you want me to do this tomorrow? Please think for a minute and tell. Then there are the topics that I want to talk now. Are one is geography. Then I want to talk about inflation, deflation, stagflation. What happens when currency is devalued? Appreciation of currency, depreciation of currency, and finally about some international bodies. This is what I wanted to talk. You can go through the notes. How much time it will take? 40-45 minutes here. It will take 40-45 minutes. Okay. I'll just conduct a small poll. Okay. We'll do one small poll. Okay. Start a poll. Yo. Huh? Please do this. Yeah, if not geography, we will go for economy and international relations. I will not disturb entire thing. మొత్తం ఆపను, క్లాస్ ఆపేసాను, ఎకనామీ చెప్పేస్తాను, ఎకనామీ ఇంటర్నేషనల్ రిలేషన్స్ పార్ట్ అవన్నీ చేస్తాను. నో డిన్నర్ సార్. ఐ డిడ్ నాట్ వేకప్ ఫ్రమ్ మై చైర్ సిన్స్ 1 PM or 1:30 PM. ఈ నోట్స్ మీరు చూస్తున్నారు కానీ ఇది ప్రిపేర్ చేయడానికి ఇట్ టేక్స్ లాట్ ఆఫ్ టైం. ఐ స్టార్టెడ్ మేకింగ్ దిస్ నోట్ సమ్వేర్ అట్ అరౌండ్ ఐ థింక్ 1:30. 9 అయింది కంప్లీట్ చేసేసరికి. రైట్, వీ విల్ గో ఫర్ ఎకనామీ అండ్ స్టాటిక్ పార్ట్ ఫస్ట్. డైటింగ్ కాదు సార్, ఛాన్స్ దొరక్క. డైటింగ్ ఏంటి, ఆకలి అవుతుంది గలీజ్గా. క్లాస్ అయిపోతే పోయి డిన్నర్ చేయాలి. ఇది అయిన తర్వాత లేచి డిన్నర్ చేయాలి సార్. డైటింగ్ లేదు, ఏం లేదు, ఆకలి అవుతుంది గలీజ్గా. సో వీ విల్ ఫస్ట్ డూ ఎకనామీ. కొంచెం లైట్ మైండెడ్లో వెళ్ళిపోద్ది. ఆ తర్వాత కూడా ఎగ్జాస్ట్ అవ్వకపోతే జాగ్రఫీ తీసుకుందాం, లేదా జాగ్రఫీని రికార్డ్ చేసి రికార్డింగ్ పెడతాను. ఎకానమీ పార్ట్ ఫినిష్ చేద్దాం. ఎకానమీ అండ్ స్టాటిక్ పార్ట్ ఈజ్ ఈజీ. 15 minutesలో అయిపోతుంది. స్టే విత్ మీ ఫర్ 15 minutes. Stay with me for 15 minutes. I'll cover economy and static part, and then we can go for dinner. Right? So in economy today we are talking about inflation, deflation, stagflation, recession, boom ivanni maatladukunna. Before I talk about this, please tell me, what do you know about inflation? What do you know about inflation? Inflation is nothing but a general rise in the price level. The general rise in the price level is called as inflation. The value of money starts falling down, right? The stage where you are losing the value of money is not inflation, it is known as hyperinflation. Okay, let us break this down into basics and let us start talking. Just give me 1 second. We will I'll open a blackboard. Just give me a minute. I'll take up a blackboard and we will break this down into basics and we will start talking. Right. Let us break down the simple concepts. With very small example, let us discuss this. Let us say today you have pen. Huh? Okay. Okay. Now, let us start talking about price levels. There are 10 pens with you. There are 10 pens in the market. There are 10 people. They want to buy 10 pens for 100 rupees. This is okay. This is an ideal scenario where there are 10 pens in the market. There are 10 people who want to buy and each pen is for 100 rupees. This is okay. Now, for suppose there are 10 pens in the market, but 50 people want. 50 people want. Now, the price will rise. ఖచ్చితంగా ప్రైస్ పెరుగుతుంది కదా. 50 people కి పెన్స్ కావాలి అన్నప్పుడు price will increase This price will, let us say, it will become 2500 maybe. So if there are 100 people who want this, then 3500, 4000. Ante at one point, if demand is increasing, price increases. Or at the same time, the cost of manufacturing, for example, let us say we have petrol. Today the cost of petrol is 109 rupees. Tomorrow a war breaks out. In Gulf. Iran and Israel goes to a larger war. Russia also goes to a larger war. And out of nowhere, this price of petrol goes to 500 rupees per liter. Again, price is increasing. So if cost increases, price increases, right? In short, because of change of anything, if the price level keeps on increasing in an economy, if the price level keeps on increasing, this stage is called as inflation. The general rise in price levels anywhere is called as inflation. And there are two types of inflation. First is a demand pull inflation. Second is cost push inflation. The first example that I gave you, where demand is increasing, that is called as demand pull inflation. In the second example, where we spoke about increase in the cost of production, that is known as cost push inflation. So in an economy, if inflation happens, finally price levels will increase. Now I will tell one statement. The statement is that before we go with this, we will go with one small example. Let us say, take, there is one company. Company is manufacturing atta. Atta is for 50 rupees. Because of inflation, atta rate now became 60 rupees. So will you agree that company is in profits of 10 rupees? Because of inflation, atta price became 62.5 rupees. And slowగా ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్ వల్ల ఆటా రేట్ పెరుగుతుంటే కంపెనీకి డెఫినెట్గా కొంచెం ప్రాఫిట్ వస్తుంది కదా. కొంచెం ప్రాఫిట్ డెఫినెట్గా పెరుగుతూ ఉంటుంది. Slightly the profit keeps on increasing. I'll tell you, is it inevitable? We will talk about it. సో స్లైట్లీ ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్ పెరుగుతూ ఉండే కొద్దీ కంపెనీకి వచ్చే డబ్బులు పెరుగుతాయి కదా. అండ్ యాజ్ కంపెనీ స్టార్ట్ గెటింగ్ మోర్ అండ్ మోర్ మనీ, company will again spend it on various resources and people. Earlier there was 5 employees. Now in the 5 employees ఉండేవాళ్ళు ఆటా 50 రూపీస్కి అమ్మినప్పుడు, ఇప్పుడు ఆటా 70కో 75కో అమ్ముడుపోతున్నప్పుడు కంపెనీ ఏం చేస్తుంది, 5 ప్లేస్లో 15 పీపుల్ని తీసుకుని దే వాంట్ టు ఇంక్రీజ్ ప్రొడక్షన్ సో దట్ దే కెన్ గెట్ మోర్ అండ్ మోర్ ప్రాఫిట్స్. సో వెన్ దేర్ ఇస్ స్లైట్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్ ఇన్ ఎకానమీ, కొంచెం ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్ ఉన్నప్పుడు, రైట్, 2% ఇన్ఫ్లేషనో 4% ఇన్ఫ్లేషనో, ఇట్లా కొంచెం ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్ ఉన్నప్పుడు, దిస్ ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్ ఈజ్ ఆల్వేస్ గుడ్ ఫర్ ది ఎకానమీ. ఇఫ్ దెర్ ఈస్ స్లైట్ అమౌంట్ ఆఫ్ ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్, then unemployment will be down in any economy. If inflation increases slightly, the word slightly is very important. If inflation slightly increases, unemployment will slightly decrease, and this curve is known as Phillips curve. The reason why if inflation slightly increases, unemployment slightly decreases is because when inflation is slightly higher, products are sold at a slightly higher prices, then corporate companies will slightly get more benefit. And when corporate companies are getting more benefit, obviously they want more and more benefits, so they want to increase production. And when they want to increase production, they will start employing more and more people. So as inflation increases slightly, unemployment decreases. This curve is known as Phillips curve, and this is the concept of inflation. Now in any economy, inflation has to be maintained at a particular level. If it increases beyond that, that scenario is called as hyperinflation. Hyperinflation is a scenario where the value of money or the value of currency of a country falls down very drastically. For example, today the cost of one loaf of bread was 1000 rupees. Tomorrow, or 10,000 rupees. Tomorrow this becomes 1 lakh. Day after tomorrow this becomes a 10 lakhs. In this manner, if the value of currency of the country is falling like anything, then Such a scenario is called as hyperinflation. The reverse of this, is known as deflation. The reverse of this is known as deflation, where the prices are falling. The prices are falling, then you call it as deflation. And the final scenario that we have is stagflation. Stagflation is a scenario where economy has slowed down completely. There is very high unemployment, there is very high inflation. Slight inflation is good for employment, whereas if there is very high inflation, then there is no employment, there is a very high unemployment. Such a scenario is called as stagflation. So you have three situations. One is inflation, where price levels are rising, price levels are falling down. This scenario is called as a deflation. This scenario is called as deflation. Then the other scenario is called as stagflation. So these are the, yeah, if the rate of inflation falls below zero, then we call it as recession. Yeah, I want to tell you two words. Oka optimum level అనుకుందాం. ఎకానమీ ఎప్పుడైనా కానీ ఒక ఆప్టిమమ్ లెవెల్లో పర్ఫామ్ చేస్తుంది అనుకుందాం. ఈ లెవెల్ దాటి ఇంకా బాగా వెళ్ళిపోతుంది అనుకోండి ఎకానమీ పైకి, దిస్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ as boom. Whereas if inflation falls below zero levels, this is called as recession period. So any economy grows through cycles. When there is, for a period there will be boom. Boom period లో ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్ వస్తుంది. ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్ ఉన్నప్పుడు గవర్నమెంట్స్ ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్ తగ్గడానికి మెజర్స్ తీసుకుంటాయి. ఇన్ఫ్లేషన్ తగ్గించే మెజర్స్ తీసుకున్నప్పుడు మళ్ళీ ఎకానమీ డౌన్ అవుతుంది. ఎకానమీ డౌన్ అయ్యి మళ్ళీ పడిపోద్ది. పడిపోయినప్పుడు ఎకానమీలో ఖచ్చితంగా రెసెషన్ వస్తుంది. రెసెషన్ వచ్చినప్పుడు మళ్ళీ గవర్నమెంట్స్ ఎకానమీని పుష్ చేస్తాయి. పుష్ చేస్తున్నప్పుడు పైకి వస్తాయి. పైకి వస్తే మళ్ళీ అగైన్ యూ విల్ హ్యావ్ రైస్. సో దిస్ హ్యాపెన్స్ ఇన్ సైకిల్స్. This continuously happens in cycles. This period is called as boom period. This cycle is called as recession period. ఇలా ప్రతి ఎకానమీలో ఖచ్చితంగా you will always have recession, you will always have boom. Boom and bust రెండు జరుగుతాయి. Now the topic is what happens when there is inflation. What should government do to handle inflation? The meaning of inflation is that prices are increasing, which means people have more money in the hands and they are demanding more. People have more money in the hands. Yes, Sri Lanka is very good example. Nice. So people have more money in their hands and they are demanding more, so prices are increasing. Now the government can do one thing. Please understand, if prices are more, can you pull down these prices? If demand is pulled down, demand నేను తగ్గించాను అనుకోండి, ప్రైస్ని పుల్ డౌన్ చేయొచ్చా? Can I pull down this if I can reduce the demand? So from people I have to take out the money. If I take money out of the pockets of people, then people have less money to spend. When people have less money to spend, demand will reduce. If demand is reduced, inflation will reduce. So if inflation is increasing, what government has to do is, it has to take money out of people's pocket. So what are the ways in which money can be taken out of people's pocket? Yes, it is tight policy. How can you take money from people's pocket? One way is to increase the taxes. Government can come and simply say, wherever there is 5% tax, GST, tomorrow onwards there is 12% tax. So this policy of playing with the taxes, this is known as Fiscal policy, and this is done in budget. Whereas the other thing, there is one more complicated way of doing this. What is that? If you want to reduce money in the hands of people, try to reduce salaries. How can you reduce the salaries? You reduce profit of a company. How can you reduce the profit of a company? You can reduce the profit of a company by increasing the cost of the company. కంపెనీకి కాస్ట్ పెంచితే, కంపెనీకి ప్రాఫిట్ తగ్గితే, పీపుల్కి ఇచ్చే శాలరీస్ తగ్గితే ఖచ్చితంగా పీపుల్ చేతిలోనే డబ్బులు తగ్గుతాయి. ఒక కంపెనీకి కాస్ట్ మీరు ఎలా పెంచొచ్చు? నిన్నటి వరకు టిల్ యెస్టర్‌డే లెట్ అస్ సే a company is paying 1 lakh rupees as interest to a bank for the loan it took. Tomorrow if the company has to pay 10 lakh loan కట్టాల్సొచ్చిందనుకోండి. రేపటి నుంచి if the company has to pay 10 lakh rupees loan, కంపెనీ కాస్ట్ పెరిగట్టేనా? Which means that by making loans costly, indirectly, you can influence the money in the hands of people. By making loans costly, you can influence the money in the hands of people. This policy is called as monetary policy, and this policy is handled by Reserve Bank of India, or for that matter, any central bank. So whenever there is inflation, you have two ways to handle. One is fiscal policy, the other is monetary policy. Monetary policy is handled by Reserve Bank of India, and in this monetary policy they will make money costly. This they can do by increasing the loans. This they can do by increasing the rate of interest. Those mechanisms are called as repo mechanism, reverse repo mechanism, CRR, which is cash reserve ratio, and SLR, which is statutory liquidity ratio. In tomorrow's class, as a part of economics theme, I will pick up the monetary policy, but I hope you understood what is repo, what is reverse repo, what is CRR, and I hope you have understood what is a tight monetary policy. No, RBI is ideally independent of taking all these kind of decisions. RBI has a body, right? RBI has a body that takes care of these decisions, and there is one act that determines the decisions that are taken by RBI. This act is called as FRBM, that is Fiscal Responsibility and Budget Management Act. According to this act, RBI is expected to maintain inflation around 4%, and the committee that takes these decisions are called as Monetary Policy Committee. We will discuss in detail about Monetary Policy Committee, FRBM, in the next classes of economy. I hope there will be questions on this particular theme. So this is the first theme that I wanted to talk to you today, that is inflation, stagflation and deflation, how it works. And there is one more word that we have to discuss, that is Gini coefficient. The inequality on any economy is determined on a curve known as a Phillips curve. If a country has zero inequality, then Gini coefficient is 0. That is zero inequality. One is full of inequalities. This is Gini coefficient that is related to inequalities. Yes, Urjit Patel committee's recommendations. 0 is perfect equality. 1 is very high inequalities. RBI is an extremely independent body. But the members on the monetary policy committee, some of them are appointed by the government. That is an altogether different debate that we can have. Okay. Now the next topic that we are looking at is appreciation and depreciations of currencies and devaluation of currencies. Devaluation is one important theme that we have to talk, right? So the devaluation is one important theme. Before going to devaluation, you need to understand what is appreciation and depreciation of currencies. Please look at this example. Earlier the value of $1 is 83 rupees. Now the value of $1 is 78 rupees. దీని మీనింగ్ రూపీ విలువ పెరిగినట్ట తగ్గినట్ట, రూపాయి వాల్యూ పెరిగినట్ట తగ్గినట్ట? Yes, we will handle it tomorrow. Come back here. Does this mean the value of rupee has increased or decreased? Yes. So if the value of a currency increases, that is called as appreciation. Please tell me, now I have one question for you. There are two scenarios that I want you to think. I don't want anybody to mug up these things, so I am taking with examples. Scenario number 1. $1 is 50 rupees. Scenario number 2. $1 is 30 rupees. Now the question is, there is one toy that is manufactured in India which costs 100 rupees. And this toy was exported to USA. In which scenario A and scenario B, in which scenario the toy will be costlier in USA? In which scenario the toy is costlier in USA? Scenario number 2, you have $3. Here you have $2. So, if currency is appreciating, first point, exports. What happens to exports? మన ఎక్స్పోర్ట్స్ బయట ఏమవుతాయి? The value of exports will decrease because they are becoming costlier. Exports will decrease. What happens to the import bill? Import will become very costly. Imports will become very costly. So for a country like India, should we expect that our currency should always be appreciated? మన కరెన్సీ ఎప్రిసియేటెడ్ వాల్యూలో ఉండాలి అని మనం అనుకోవచ్చా ఇండియా లాంటి ఒక కంట్రీ? Should we expect it? Yes or no? Please think carefully and answer. Whoever is saying yes or no, I want you to give a reason. Please give me a reason, or especially those who are saying yes, I want you to give a reason. I have yes and no. No, it's not about stability. About beyond the point, currency should not appreciate, especially with India, because no matter what our workforce is, what our GDP is, we are an oil dependent economy. So if our currency is appreciating, we have to pay more oil bill. Kabatti the value should not increase. That currency should not be appreciated. If a currency is appreciating, there are certain positive effects, there are certain negative effects. Ardhamainda? Did you understand what I'm talking? If your currency is appreciating, your exports will become very costly. It will hurt you. You have to pay more import bill, it will hurt you. సో కొన్ని కంట్రీస్ ఏం చేస్తాయంటే కావాలని ఆర్టిఫిషియల్గా వాళ్ళ కరెన్సీ వాల్యూని చేంజ్ చేసుకుంటాయి, అంటే మన వాల్యూని తగ్గించేసుకుంటాయి. దిస్ ఈజ్ కాల్డ్ యాజ్ devaluation of currency. If a country deliberately reduces its value of currency, that is called as devaluation of currency. But US prints its own dollars. We cannot print a dollar. We can get dollars only by doing trade, right? So this is called as devaluation of a currency, that I think was asked in some of the examinations, right? So this is the meaning of devaluation. China has done devaluation many times. China always maintains artificial value. Depreciation and appreciation, they do affect on inflation, yes, right? So this is about devaluation of the currency, and then about the depreciation of the currency. Please go through this part. In economy, see, economy lo basically ఏంటంటే we have to take it up in a structured manner. So day 1 I spoke in detail about inflation, then I have to talk about monetary policy. After this we have to talk about forex. When I am taking up forex in detail, we will talk about more of this. In exam they might ask you one more word, that is BOP, which is balance of payments. Balance of payments అంటే ఏం లేదు, మన ఇంపోర్ట్ బిల్ మైనస్ ఎక్స్పోర్ట్ మనీ దట్ వీఆర్ గెటింగ్. దిస్ ఈస్ కాల్డ్ అస్ బ్యాలెన్స్ ఆఫ్ పేమెంట్స్. ఇండియాకి బ్యాలెన్స్ ఆఫ్ పేమెంట్ నెగిటివ్లో ఉంటుంది. ఎస్. The last topic, this is very simple. I don't want to waste much of your time on this. I'll quickly go through this part. This is static. The first organization that is important for exams is BRICS. The first organization that is important is BRICS. BRICS is extremely important. BRICS విషయంలో originally it was only BRIC, BRIC లేదు. They can ask you about James O'Neill. The word was coined by James O'Neill. Originally, BRIC మాత్రమే ఉండే. Later on, South Africa came into this whole setup, and this was established in 2010. Some part of the world sees that this is against USA. This some part of the world sees that this is against NATO. Yes, it is partially against NATO. Let us discuss about this in some other class when we are talking about geopolitics. But for exams, BRICS is established. BRICS related ga ee points important. New Development Bank important. New Development Bank was established in 2015. Headquarters is in Shanghai. No, 11 countries were given invitation, Sekar. 11 countries were given invitation. అందరూ ఇంకా జాయిన్ అవ్వలేదు. That is BRICS plus. What you are saying is BRICS plus. They were given invitation. They are yet to join. One arrangement of BRICS that we have to know is CRA. CRA అంటే ఏంటంటే కంటింజెన్సీ రిజర్వ్ అరేంజ్మెంట్. కంటింజెన్సీ రిజర్వ్ అరేంజ్మెంట్ అంటే ఏంటంటే వన్ థింగ్ ఇస్ దట్ జనరల్గా ఏ కంట్రీస్ కైనా డబ్బులు లేకపోతే డబ్బులు కావాలి అనుకుంటే దే గో టు IMF టు టేక్ లోన్స్. సో IMFకి లోన్స్ కోసం వెళ్ళినప్పుడు IMF కొన్నిసార్లు ఇవ్వచ్చు, ఇవ్వకపోవచ్చు. USA వింత వింత టర్మ్స్ కండిషన్స్ పెట్టచ్చు. సో బ్రిక్స్ కంట్రీస్ ఏం చేస్తారంటే దే క్రియేటెడ్ అన్ అరేంజ్మెంట్ కాల్డ్ CRA ఆర్ కంటింజెన్సీ రిజర్వ్ అరేంజ్మెంట్. సో అండర్ కంటింజెన్సీ రిజర్వ్ అరేంజ్మెంట్ బ్రిక్స్ కంట్రీస్లో ఎవరికైనా కానీ ఫైనాన్షియల్ నీడ్స్ వస్తే ఇన్స్టెడ్ ఆఫ్ గోయింగ్ టు IMF దే విల్ గివ్ లోన్ అమాంగ్ దెమ్సెల్వ్స్ సో దట్ ఎనీ BOPs కెన్ బి హ్యాండిల్డ్. So this is called as CRA. Then there is a small list of important and notable BRICS summit. Please go through these summits. Fortaleza declaration is very, very important. I think I gave it in the notes. Fortaleza declaration is very important because New Development Bank and CRA were organized as a part of BRICS. So Fortaleza declaration of Brazil in 2014. This can be a static question. And yes, the 15th summit of 2023, they have invited 11 more countries, which is known as BRICS plus. There can be one more word that they can ask you in the examination. They may ask, they may not ask. The word is de-dollarization. This is very, very simple. It's nothing. World is entirely dependent upon dollar. So BRICS countries wants to come up with a mechanism where they are not dependent on dollar. See, for example, there is Russia. Yes, you can get the PDF of this session. The PDF of this session is available in Siddhi app. You can download from there. There is tests and resources. You can get it. The meaning of de-dollarization is that the entire world is dependent on dollar. For example, you see Russia-Ukraine war. US comes and says that I'm putting sanctions on you. Tomorrow we may buy S-500 missile system, Su-57. We might buy from Russia. We are buying from Russia, of course. Now US will come and say we will put sanctions on you. We will not let you do business. So the dependence on dollar has made the entire world system in such a way that అందరి పిలుకలు US చేతిలో ఉండే పాయింట్కి వెళ్ళిపోయింది. So de-dollarization is one attempt where we want to bring in new currencies, alternative currencies to rupee. Adi de-dollarization. They might ask you in the exams. BRICS summits 4 times ఇండియాలో జరిగినాయి. 3 times ఇండియాలో జరిగినాయి. 4, 8, 13, 2012, 16, 21. This is important. The static part they will ask you in the exams. Next organization is SAARC. SAARC is not so functional today because we know because of Pakistan, SAARC is not functional. Right? FTS మాట్లాడదాం. Raghupati Reddy. We will talk about FTS. Just give me a couple of minutes. We will talk about FTS. So SAARC, they might ask you, it was established in 1985, but after 2014 అసలు ప్రొడక్టివ్గా SAARCలో ఏమీ జరగట్లేదు. Still, if they ask, please answer. SAARC University is there in New Delhi. Go through this. SAARC వర్క్ అవ్వట్లేదు కాబట్టి we came up with an alternative. The alternative is BIMSTEC. BIMSTEC is Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical Economic Cooperation. BIMSTE. Right? BIMSTEC, Bay of Bengal, the countries that are there around Bay of Bengal, initiative for multi-sectoral, different sectors, technical and economic cooperation, right? So this is about BIMSTEC. The names of the countries in BIMSTEC are important. India, Nepal, Bhutan, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand and Sri Lanka. This is important. The static notes I gave you. This has been created so that in case if a SAARC fails, this can be there. So in BIMSTEC, there is no Pakistan. There is no Pakistan. The headquarters is in Dhaka of Bangladesh. Yeah, I wrote about Quad, right? I wrote about Quad. ఇక్కడ లిస్ట్ లో పెట్టలేదా? Okay, yeah. I wrote about Quad that you have to revise. Quad revision చేయాలి. I took up these South Asian organizations for today. Then we have India, Myanmar, Thailand trilateral highway. The aim is that India nunchi Myanmar, Myanmar nunchi Thailand, akkad nunchi East Asia ki connect avvadaniki. It starts at Moreh of Manipur and goes till Meso in Thailand. Idi kuda important. They are asking about this in exam. Right? No China, no Maldives. Yes, there is no China. Forget China. Where is Bay of Bengal and where is China? So there is no China. Then there is one more project that they can ask you, Kaladan multimodal transit route. Kaladan multimodal transit route చేయడానికి రీజన్ ఏంటంటే ఎవ్రీబడి నోస్ అబౌట్ సిలిగురి కారిడార్ ఆర్ చికెన్ నెక్. చికెన్ నెక్లో ప్రాబ్లం వస్తే మనం నార్త్ ఈస్ట్కి కనెక్ట్ అవ్వడానికి ఇబ్బంది అవుతుంది కాబట్టి we started connecting India to our own northeast through sea. This is known as Kaladan multimodal transit project. It starts at a port that in India. It starts at Sittwe port in India. Sorry, it starts at Kolkata port in India and it goes to Sittwe port of Myanmar. ఇండియాలో స్టార్ట్ అయ్యి మయన్మార్ వరకు పోర్ట్లో కనెక్ట్ అవుద్ది. తర్వాత కాలదాన్ రివర్ మీద కనెక్ట్ అవుతుంది. కాలదాన్ రివర్ నుంచి ఇట్ గోస్ టు ఇట్ కమ్స్ టు మిజోరాం. ఇట్ కమ్స్ టిల్ ఐజ్వాల్. సో ఈ రూట్ని దిస్ ఇస్ కాల్డ్ అస్ కాలదాన్ మల్టీమోడల్ ట్రాన్సిట్ ప్రాజెక్ట్. దిస్ ఈస్ వెరీ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ ఫర్ ఇండియా బికాస్ in case if something happens in Siliguri corridor, this is important and this way we can connect. But unfortunately, this project is not yet materialized because of the political instability that is there in India. There is a lot of political instability that is there in India. So it starts at Kolkata and Kolkata to Sittwe port of Myanmar via Bay of Bengal. From Sittwe of Myanmar to Paletwa, it is on Kaladan river. Then from there to Aizawl in Mizoram, we have this connectivity. PM Yojana for urban housing. There is one housing scheme, kada. There is only one housing scheme, right? It was it is in the name of Vajpayee ji. It is in the name of Vajpayee ji. The urban housing name is in the name of Vajpayee ji, right? There is only one housing scheme. Right? Along with this, you also have to revise Mekong Ganga corridor and all these initiatives. If you choose kondi, exams lo adagadaniki chala scope untadi. I will finish these notes and I'll provide it to you. I could not finish it specifically. Can you tell the context? Can you tell the context? Awas Vikas Yojana. No. There is one scheme which is PM Awas. PM Awas Urban, PM Awas Gramin component. Earlier there was Rurban Mission, Shama Prasad Mukherjee Rurban Mission, but now there is one scheme that is PM Awas. ఈ టాపిక్స్ చూడండి, క్వాడ్, SCO, చబహార్ ప్రాజెక్ట్, ఇండియన్ ఓషన్ రిమ్ అసోసియేషన్, భారత్మాల, సాగర్, ఆసియాన్, మెకాంగ్ గంగా కారిడార్ ఇవన్నీ అడుగుతున్నారు. ప్లీజ్ గో త్రూ దిస్ ఈస్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఆసియాన్ ఈజ్ ఆల్సో ఇంపార్టెంట్. సో ఇవి దీంతో పాటు ఐ వాంట్ టు టెల్ యూ సమ్ మోర్ ఏరియాస్ దట్ ఆర్ ఇంపార్టెంట్, ఎస్పెషలీ సైన్స్ విషయం. ఐ హ్యావ్ టు స్టార్ట్ విత్ సైన్స్. ఐ డిడ్ నాట్ ఫైండ్ ఇనఫ్ టైమ్ టు మేక్ నోట్స్. ఐ విల్ ప్రయారిటైజ్ సైన్స్ అండ్ జియోగ్రఫీ ఇన్ టుమారోస్ సెషన్. ఓకే. Yeah, Sultanate is also important. Sultanate is important. With respect to science, especially with biology, please go through the topics such as DNA, RNA, what is DNA, what is RNA, what is cell, what is a transcription, what is reverse transcription. Right? Please go through all these topics in science and in physics. Go through Doppler effect, go through Tyndall effect. We are starting at 9:30 p.m. Because I have to prepare all these notes. They are mixing multiple questions. Vajpayee ji was the prime minister. Our time lo aithe it was Shama Prasad Mukherjee Rurban Mission. I have to teach biology. Yes, in tomorrow's session we will prioritize geography and biology. We will prioritize geo and biology in tomorrow's session with depth. Especially in bio, we will talk about cell biology. Then we will go to DNA. And then we will go to RNA. From there, we will talk about how vaccines are produced. We will do this along with geography. In tomorrow's class, we will take up geo and science. Yes, I hope everybody agrees with this. Tomorrow in geo, we will talk about climate and the impact. Climatology and impact. In geography, we will talk about monsoons. Idanta, we will talk about this tomorrow. And in biology, we will talk about the basics of cell biology, cell organelles. And cell organelles, then LS, and then we will talk about DNA, RNA. This is tomorrow's topics, and tomorrow let us not take up. Yeah, tomorrow we will not take up the history part. Okay. In polity, please go through the topics such as emergency. Please go through the topics such as emergency. Then you go through DPSPs. DPSPs are important. I did not take up because most of us are very good at emergency. Kabatti, tomorrow we will do geography and science. If possible, in science, first I'll take up geography and I will do with the topic of climate in detail. Neatga climate discuss chestanu. Then we will go to biology. Biology, we will take up the cell bio, DNA, RNA components and all. After this, then if time permits, we will go to physics, and in physics, we will look at Doppler effect, Raman effect, Tyndall effect, and all those kind of things. So we will keep this as tomorrow's agenda. 35, 51, 50, 262, vice president. These are important. I will not take up polity much because andarki polity vachu. సో ఈ టాపిక్స్ తీసుకుందాం, అండ్ ఇన్ ది నెక్స్ట్ క్లాస్ అగైన్ వీ విల్ కమ్ టు ఎకానమీ. మీకు ఎక్కడెక్కడైతే కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అడుగుతున్నారో, మల్టీ స్టేట్మెంట్ క్వశ్చన్స్ హ్యాండిల్ చేయడానికి ఇబ్బంది పడుతున్నారో అక్కడ మనం తీసుకుందాం. వీ విల్ క్లోజ్ ద క్లాసెస్ ఎర్లియర్. టుడే ఇట్ వెంట్ టిల్ 12 o'clock. ఐఎమ్ వెరీ వెరీ హంగ్రీ. సో వీ విల్ క్లోజ్ ద సెషన్ ఫర్ టుడే and we will meet again tomorrow with important topics. Right? Factual topics we will list out in the index. Go through them. For example, Vedic literature is important. Go through Vedic literature. Right? Vedic literature chudandi, and there are a couple of other topics also. I'll give the list. Oksa chustanu nenu proper ga list prepare chestanu. So this is for today. UK free trade agreement. The UK free trade agreement is still in the making here. I'll tell you. The problem is that I'll take it up tomorrow. Don't worry. Not tomorrow. In the next economic class, I'll take up in detail. Proper ga maatladam. Don't worry if you did not understand appreciation, depreciation. Please don't worry today. We will take it up in detail. Appreciation enti, depreciation enti, BOP avani maatladam. Yeah, you can consider. Yes, you can consider. You can definitely consider tomorrow's GIA as a part 2. చెప్పలేం వినయ్, అస్సలు చెప్పలేం. దానికి ఆన్సర్ చెప్పలేం. ఎకనామీ సెపరేట్గా తీసుకుందాం. ఎకనామీ ఒకరోజు కూర్చుని ఎకనామీలో కాన్సెప్ట్స్ అన్ని నీట్గా తీసుకుందాం. I hope these are useful for CGL. Yes, I hope you can handle the concept-based multi-statement questions. Right? Good night, everyone. See you all again later. Yeah. This is all for today. Cover about yes, I will cover about winds. I'll first I'll teach what is Coriolis force, what is Coriolis effect, right? How wind systems come, what are permanent wind systems or planetary systems. Then I'll talk about local winds. Then I will talk about what is ITCZ, how those winds come into India, how are monsoons created, and what is the impact of monsoons, what are the factors that impact monsoons. ఇవన్నీ రేపు మాట్లాడుకుందాం. స్పోర్ట్స్లో I'll tell you. See, sports please prepare. I'll tell you the topics. ఖోఖో ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి, కబడ్డీ ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి, ఒలింపిక్స్ ప్రిపేర్ అవ్వండి, ఒలింపిక్స్లో మెడల్స్ లాంటివి చూడండి. ఇప్పటి వరకు నాకు తెలిసినంతలో ఈ టాపిక్స్ ఇంపార్టెంట్, ఇవి చూడండి. ఎస్, రీజనల్ నేమ్స్ ఆఫ్ విండ్స్, లోకల్ విండ్స్ మాట్లాడుకుందాం. ఓకే, పోర్ట్స్. ఆర్ దెర్ ఎనీ అదర్ టాపిక్స్ దట్ పీపుల్ నీడ్ టు నో? యా, కబడ్డీ, ఖోఖో ఇవి చూడండి. సి ఐఎమ్ నాట్ డ్వెల్లింగ్ మచ్ ఇన్ టు ది ఫ్యాక్చువల్ పోర్షన్ బికాస్ ఎక్కడో అక్కడ నుంచి ఫ్యాక్చువల్ పోర్షన్ వస్తుంది. Somewhere or the other we have access to all the factual information and we get the names and we get the topics. So I will not just, I don't want to be like I take up a blank slide and I say ki kabaddi, now you tell me this. I don't want to list this and waste your time on this. We can definitely learn this. Schemes adugutunnaru, we will do a compilation of schemes. Please remind me. I'll do a compilation of schemes in the next 3 to 4 days and I'll give you sports schemes compilation. Please go through with this. Right? So this is all for today. We will meet again tomorrow. Till then, good night. Okay. Census, 5-year plans. Economy also 5-year plans మాట్లాడుకుందాం. IVC లోనే సి కనిపెట్టలేదు జగన్, సి రూట్ కనిపెట్టారు. గుడ్ నైట్. గుడ్ నైట్ ఎవ్రీవన్. సి కనిపెట్టలేదు గారు, సి రూట్ కనిపెట్టారు. Indices, yes, they are asking indices. Happiness index is important.